hey, just like rub this, and then we're picking this guy.
That's true. They could have just been
Could have.
go say this name.
I still
But
think
like
that was
rub
pretty
the
cool.
rub the. We're gonna put mashed potatoes down. Just play with it.
I still think that was pretty cool.
My toast
I didn't
is.
pick you,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mock.
My toast is to third-round draft pick for the Cleveland Browns, Sion Tatikaki.
Speaking of cocky,
So this is a guy that didn't think he was going to get picked yet, and took a bathroom break and was on the toilet when the Browns called him.
Kind of appropriate.
Fantastic. Good for you, man. Paul?
No, Souls. Come up. Come up with something.
Go first.
There's no. I'm calling on you. There's no way you don't have one. You watch more baseball than anybody else here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Toast
all right.
It's
need
Albert
that
Pujols
assurance.
for passing Barry Bonds.
Who?
Pujols passing Bonds in the all-time RBI list.
Without steroids?
Still better than half the people that made the Hall of Fame without it.
Just saying.
He's better.
Eh,
Steroids are fine.
cheater.
Half the Yankees did them.
Not half, some.
Your best players.
That's not true.
Your ace. Your number 2. Your third baseman.
Who?
A-Rod.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about him.
Giambi was pretty important at the time.
Nah.
So it's 4 pretty good players.
Still not half, Kyle.
Chuck Pagano
ooh,
when he was your catcher.
Chuck Pagano?
Yeah,
Chuck
Like the
Knobloch.
Bears coach?
it's not a coach.
Well, he's coordinator.
It's not a coach.
It is.
It would say defensive coach.
It's part of the coaching staff. He's a coach.
No. What?
he did steroids.
Hmm?
He did steroids.
When he was a Yankee.
He also wasn't
was
a
a
Yankee.
He was a Yankee. He doesn't argue. I have 3. One of them is to Tim Anderson for like not giving a fuck and like pimping his bat flip again after hitting a walk off.
Good.
Second one is to Damian Sandow to Damian Lillard for just being fucking clutch with his shot against PG and just everything. Guy's amazing. He also said a pretty cool thing. They're like, "Oh, how do you feel? How do you feel about pressure?" And blah blah. He goes, "Man, we just get paid a lot of money to play a game." He goes, "Pressure is a single mom figuring out how she's gonna pay rent. We don't know pressure."
That was shared from our page today.
Who shared it?
I did.
You don't know basketball.
Could still share pages.
No. Souls.
Hey, it's a quote.
Souls. Kiss Mock Sheen
Nope.
with Coach.
Oh, God.
But I want Coach throwing up during the kiss. And then my last one is to Jets' most recent draft pick, Quinnen Williams. I took
Yes.
Yeah. Pretty funny video. Anybody else see that?
No.
See that interview?
Which one?
The sneezing one? No?
No, I didn't see it.
Guy was doing an interview. He sneezed, said,
Oh,
bless me,
yeah.
and then he said, thank you. He was just like, bless you, thank you. And then continued with on with the it was pretty funny.
yes.
No, Mass, question.
Yeah.
How did me saying the Quinnen Williams video where he sneezes not give it away enough? The one where when I started like the one where he sneezes, no. So he sneezed. He goes, "Oh, you meant that sneezing?"
No, because
I thought you meant the sneezing where chicken parm comes out of your ears.
I don't know.
Yeah, good call. All right. Well, toast them.
Yeah.
Oh, I also had another toast actually from sports related, but it was because I saw this thing on Reddit where it was like someone said if you like get attacked by a goose, you're not supposed to like run away from the goose because they view it as a challenge and they chase you. That's why geese always chase people. And then the guy was like, I lived on a farm and we raised like wild birds and geese and ducks and stuff like that too. It's like if a goose comes up to attack you, you're supposed to grab it by the neck underneath its head and throw it as far as you can to assert its dominance. and then the first person that commented was, "So you're telling me I need to yeet the geese?" And I laughed until poop came out.
Can I tell you, this is now the second time I've talked about having to fight a goose today.
That's impressive.
Me and my brother talked about this earlier in the day.
Man, I want to get out there.
I said too, I'd grab it by the neck,
Just kind of like do this.
kind of
with it.
shake it
No,
real
you
quick.
throw it.
So how do you do it? Do you throw it like a potato sack? So you grab it like this, do you take it off and go like that?
No, it's a fucking goose. Its neck is a lot stronger than any part of your body is. It's not gonna. You're gonna break it by like
So am I pulling a
Grab
Super
it,
Mario
and
64 and spinning it around?
I would.
You throw it like
Churn
a
the
grenade.
butter. Churn the butter.
Yeah, you throw like a grenade.
Like a grenade. Cow, they can fly.
Gets its bearings.
not if you bite its beak like it's the pin.
Oh,
What geese are you?
Yeah.
Anyways,
I don't
let's
know.
get back
That's a
on track.
Mexican
Oh,
goose.
sorry, Souls, the person who is the biggest poop on this face.
That's right.
All right, Masters momentous Yep.
Yep.
okay.
Oh, I'm gonna do shot trivia first. Sorry.
All right, shot trivia
You
first.
suck. All right, so actually, you know what? 2 momentous moments first.
All right.
I lost the trivia question.
April 30th, 1939. Lou Gehrig sets an MLB record playing his 2,130th consecutive and final game for the New York Yankees.
Yeah. Maybe.
May 1st, 1951. Mickey Mantle hits his first career home run. And May 2nd, 1999, John Elway announces his retirement from the NFL.
I'm okay with that one.
Well, that's
I
Mass's
hate John.
monumentous moments.
Real quick before Paul jumps in with the question, check us out. We're on Facebook Live. Tune in.
YouTube Live as well.
YouTube as well.
My phone is just got back to like charged 1%, so hopefully I'll get that shared in a moment.
What do you guys think the world record is for most ping pong balls fit in someone's mouth?
Ooh.
41.
41?
I will keep in mind they are fully spherical. There's no deflation.
You think someone's fitting 41 ping pong balls in their mouth?
We've seen weirder things.
Yeah.
41.
Well, let's fucking guess and then we'll see what happens.
14.
13.
You're
You
such
son of a
rat.
bitch. 12.
I was going to say 12.
I was going to say 13.
Hey, Pete.
39.
No
Jesus
way.
Not
Christ.
6.
Yeah, we definitely shot way too high. We had higher expectations.
Pete
for
said he
people.
can fit 7.
Mouth,
prove
not
it,
ass.
Prove it right now.
All right. Well, that's shot trivia.
Yeah, so Souls gets to do the
Yeah.
pump. Souls, pump it.
Pump it.
There was a hair.
Louder.
Quieter up, Mass. What the fuck? Turn up the stereo.
What?
You singing Black Eyed Peas.
That band is terrible.
Yeah. Shout out to Will.
Fergie's really hot from the shoulder down.
What, Ken?
I think they were saying shout out the Black Eyed Peas. I thought that was happening.
No, shout out to the Black Keys. Is that a band? Black Keys?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
it's like an emo band, right? It's like a Hey There Delilah band.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Somewhere.
That is, in fact, a real band.
Twisted Sisters band. Kind of.
Yuck. Yuck to Twisted Sister.
Hey, they're not going to take it.
Boo.
Oh,
That's a shot.
That's a
No,
shot.
come
it
on.
is. How come everything you do isn't a shot? But if
That's-
Kendall
likes
did it,
that song.
that's definitely a shot.
Take a shot. I'll do one with you.
Oh, hold on. I'm doing a
Souls
watch
is
party.
going to exit the show by
No,
hour
I have this
two.
one here. That's what I'm doing.
Just go. Okay, I'm trying to set up.
I
the
don't
watch party.
trust you as far as I
Okay,
can throw you.
I'm doing something for the show.
Hold
right.
off on your
You have
shot.
5
Wait.
minutes.
You should do these things before the show.
I can't. We have to wait for the video to be
We
live.
should
Bye.
go live an hour before the show.
By 8:22, you better have done this.
Just stream the car ride down.
It's like the draft room videos they show where like nobody's there. Like there was one where Patricia was like fingering his belly button. Like he was just like knuckle deep in his belly button through his shirt, just like defensive backs. Someone get me a churro.
Someone get me a churro.
I get you one of those right about now.
All right.
Then go get one.
So
I dare
yeah,
you.
so let's do some topic discussions. I kind of like what we did last week, so we're gonna do it again. But this time we're not gonna do the one-on-one things. I know that there were some topics that other people wanted to jump in on. Of all people, Mock actually had one that he wanted to talk about. but I didn't let him because it was one-on-one.
Bless
Right,
you.
but I do have one-on-one discussion
Bless you.
between me and Souls. Just a real quick one.
Yeah.
If you had to rank from like most godly to like just biggest piece of shit ever to exist, how would you rank Kevin Nash, Batman, Aquaman, Billy Ray Cyrus, Tim Tebow, and Spider-Man?
Okay. Easy. Aquaman at the top.
Like for best.
Yeah, best.
Okay.
Ken, if you could go ahead and just start cutting mics off, that'd be cool.
Two is Nash.
Okay.
Poor guy had knee surgery.
Yeah, that was a brutal scar.
That guy sucks.
He was mad. He whooped your ass in a video game.
He never whipped my ass. He just always interfered.
Yeah, same thing.
I never lost to him.
Yeah.
You lost because of him.
He would just interfere.
What was the third one of Mockades?
Batman.
You want to know the kicker in that whole thing? Is that I bought that game over a decade later and it was the same shit. Fuck him.
Batman.
Yeah.
Hey, Uncle Bob.
Then we got Spider-Man.
Okay. Showing some love to Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't mind Spidey.
All right.
Who's the
Billy
other
Ray
two?
Cyrus and Tim Tebow.
Billy Ray, then Tebow.
See, Kyle's forever going to be bitter against Tebow.
No, because he was not that good.
He was good enough
Yeah.
to beat the Steelers
He
in the
was good
playoffs.
enough to win one game, and then he sucked enough to get out of the league.
I just have a question. What's your kind of hate for Billy Ray Cyrus?
Mock likes him.
He thinks he's funny.
Well, he also made a terrible song.
The song
It's a new one?
No, it's Achy Breaky Heart.
No, that song is America's Treasure. It's a good song.
The best thing that ever happened to him,
Hey, Shane, Christian.
the
what's up?
best thing that he's contributed to this planet.
is his daughter Noah.
What? Did you say his daughter Noah?
That's
His
his
other
other
daughter named Noah?
Yeah,
That just goes to prove how much of a dick he is. I got a daughter.
I think that's her name.
I want to play Achy Breaky Heart like the karaoke version, like really bad.
Go for it.
Hear the difference in guitar.
You should play the Aquaman version.
Ooh.
Ugh.
What if that exists?
It is.
So, Paul, what do you got for a talking topic?
I just don't feel like doing the show. Anybody else really feel like doing the show today?
Not really.
I was digging the Achy Breaky Heart discussion.
All right, so let's get back to it. Worst songs ever. Achy Breaky Heart.
Ugh, cut his mic.
Anything by the Eagles.
Oh, I knew it was coming though. You know?
The Eagles aren't that good. Overrated.
I think they're pretty good.
They're overrated.
Thank you,
Anyway,
Kyle.
Hate the football team.
Nah, they're good.
Let's rank every Avengers movie in order.
Oh, you know, and we're just out of time. Thank you, Paul. Would you care to sign us off?
Sure. Make sure to tune in to PPRN Radio Network for everything that's not us. And Kyle, thinking chicken cutlets.
you're all right. Let's get this ball going.
What?
What?
Fuck you, man.
All right, yo.
All right, topic discussion. I would like to know what you guys think of the first round of the NHL playoffs ending and having all the 1 seeds being kicked to the curb, all the wild card teams advancing. First time ever, including powerhouses such as defending Stanley Cup champion Washington Capitals, President's Trophy winner Tampa Bay Lightning, top dog in the West, Calgary Flames. What do you guys think?
I think it's good for the sport. And Riddler, you could speak better on this than I can. But how long
Did you
has
just like chime in really fast to segue me into talking about this?
well, I have a question first off. And so the playoffs
off.
as we know it, how long has that kind of been in place?
What do you mean?
So I guess
With
since
the format?
the format, I guess, you know, with wild card and all that.
No, I don't know.
Like, so-
Not that long.
20 years?
No.
No.
not even.
We'll say 10,
Between 10
maybe,
and 20.
10 and 20. Right. So
I
15.
think. I don't know.
So
I'd say it was the average of 10 and 20.
the median mode. Shout out to your SAT prep class.
Which one of those means average?
Mode?
Nah.
I
I
don't
mean,
think so.
mode
Did
is the one that shows up most
Did
often.
I mention I didn't take the SATs?
The
Liar.
mean- The mean is the average. The mode is
I
the one
did.
that shows up the most, and the median is the one in the middle. If you were to line them up numerically.
All right.
I knew the median.
Let's get off
I'm
of
taking
this
the
because
kid
this
back.
is just dumb.
Hey,
All right.
hey, we're tutoring here.
But for the first time for that to happen, I think it's great for viewership. And actually, I was reading this thing that actually
Good.
that viewership of the playoffs was up. I don't know what the percentage was, so I think it's great for the sport. It's exciting. As you know, most of us here on the show, with the exception of Paul, are very bad at watching hockey and sticking to stuff that we say we're going to do. Like we're really good at saying stuff that we're going to do and then not doing it. Like we're the best.
Like grading the mock drafts.
Right. But as far as watching the playoffs, it's been exciting watching the highlights and wishing I watched the games. But I think it's very good seeing the wild cards all advance. It's fun. It's fun.
See, I think it's more. I don't think it's better for the sport. It is more exciting because when you have the 1 seeds, you always want to see them get upset, but they're also the dominant teams. So they're
Expect.
Yeah.
No.
So when you see Calgary, I think just had an overachieving year. I don't think they really were deserving of the 1 seed. I think they were going to get knocked out by whoever they played anyways in the first round. But I just feel like it's more exciting in the fact that it's going to be a different team winning it this year. No Penguin.
Capitals.
Well, yeah, no Capital. Hoping that it's a new team. I'd be all about seeing a Blue Jacket Avalanche Stanley Cup. I know you won't, but
No, I don't that's just ugly. I don't want to see that.
it'd be different.
San Jose
What's up, LB?
Hurricanes.
Whatever. All
What's up,
good.
Stan?
I want to see a hurricane of sharks.
Didn't they make a movie about that?
No, it's tornadoes.
No.
Stan's talking Go Islanders.
They're in a pretty rough spot right now.
Yeah.
Care to elaborate, Mark?
The only thing I know
Nope.
about that. No, hold on, because we were talking about this at work. Didn't something happen with now they're playing back in Brooklyn again for their home games? Something happened with their contract.
Yeah, I don't know the details to it, but I saw it.
I don't know the specifics, but it was something like if they made it to the second round of the playoffs, that their home games were going to be in Brooklyn, which I guess is a stadium completely not built for hockey. So now it's just kind of, I mean, I'm going to say throwing them off, but they were playing really well in Long Island. It just seems like it was a bad idea.
I guess I'm confused why that would be the case. Why would that happen?
Brooklyn's a greedy bitch of a town.
What's the PPRN Skype name? Shane's gonna try and Skype in.
Let me figure it out.
They're playing half the games in Brooklyn. They're not back in Brooklyn. They play in Brooklyn. They're back in Long Island.
But the games for now are gonna be in Brooklyn,
No.
right?
They're playing half and half for the next 3 years.
But I mean for this playoff series.
No, for the next 3 years. They're playing half and half for the next 3 years.
Oh, okay.
They might be playing these home games in Brooklyn because they played all the other ones in Long Island last round. I don't know, but it's just half and half because they need to make renovations and they can't do it during an entire season.
Yeah.
Because when they play in Brooklyn, they share a stadium with the Nets.
Mhm.
But when they go back to Long Island and play in the old Coliseum, they have it to themselves.
I got you.
I just hope they become the Brooklyn Islanders. They missed out on the Long Island Islanders.
Oh man, I'd be such a fan if that was the case.
Make them black and
Islanders,
white.
everything.
Make them black and white.
With those like
Like
Bob Marley cheetah stripe things.
I
The ones that he
don't know. I think it's not better for the sport, but I think it's more. I think it's exciting to the fans.
All right.
So yeah, Stan just weighed in. He said if they keep advancing through the playoffs, all the other rounds would be played in Brooklyn this year.
Let's go Colorado.
It just seems like it was just a poor timing thing where they were playing hot on Long Island and then they had to switch home stadiums.
Didn't a lot of these games come?
Well, they're not. Well, yeah. The Islanders are not better than Columbus.
No, I'm not saying that they are.
Did anybody watch Topic 2? Did you have anything to chime in with, Mass?
I was just gonna say, didn't a lot of the eliminations come down to Game 7 for most of them?
No, Columbus swept Tampa.
Oh, never mind.
And did Pittsburgh get swept?
Yeah.
Yup. Yeet. Both Eastern Conference ones got swept.
Knights and
No,
Capitals went
that's not
to
true.
Game 7 though, didn't they?
Yep, Knights and Capitals. The
So the
Vegas
Sharks,
Knights and
Vegas.
the Washington Capitals. In the same
No.
conference.
Those two series. I know they weren't playing against each other.
you think he really meant those two series?
I don't know, but if he didn't, he covered it well. But I think that he did.
The reason I don't think you did, and I'm gonna, because you said Knights Capitals, so you picked one of the winning teams from their respective games,
Because I don't
and then
remember
one of the losing teams from.
because
their
I don't
respective
remember who
games.
they played.
You're a bad fan, Chris.
I know.
You're a bad fan. You're a bad Vegas fan.
Mock's a bad Vegas fan.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, Hurricanes Capitals went Game 7, and then
Hurricanes. That's who it was. Thank you.
San Jose went 7. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to chime in. I don't need to.
Okay.
Anybody watch the Rockets Warriors game last night?
Yep. No, but I know exactly what happened.
Did anybody watch the highlights from it?
Yes.
Did you actually?
No.
Okay, so
I got you.
No, we don't need to. We're not going to recap it.
I know exactly what you're going to talk about.
Well, we're not going to talk about it though if it's only you and me.
All right.
Moving on. It says right here. I'm pretty sure it says somewhere in here like do homework.
How are we supposed to do homework if you don't tell us the topic?
Topics will include NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, and MLB.
But that's from last night. I wasn't doing homework last night.
Apparently, you only have to do homework one night of the week for the show. All right. So, what night did you do homework, Mass?
Thursday and Friday.
Kyle, pull up the games that happened on Thursday and Friday. I expect this man to know everything.
You would be wrong.
Anyway, Souls, do you have anything you would like to chime in with? Souls?
Say that again.
Which team is in more trouble with their injuries? The way the injuries are progressing, the Yankees or the Phillies?
Yankees. Because the Phillies are getting people back. Yankees are having guys that might be missing like 60 days, and it's to like their all-star.
I
The
really
Phillies
feel
got
like-
most of their guys back.
I really feel like every time the Yankees get somebody back, it's 2 people back down.
Well, no one's come back yet, and they're
Yeah.
just losing 2 guys
Jerry
at a
did.
clip. That's true. Sanchez came back pretty good.
And then 2
But
more
again,
people
we
fell
lost 2 yesterday. I mean, the Yankees are just getting hurt. I mean, I guess it's all right that it's in the early of the season and they're kind of keeping pace with the rest of the division, but eventually it's going to catch up to them. I mean,
Well,
at
ever
some point it
since-
has to.
Yankees haven't really played anybody demanding yet. Like they played the Giants. They're playing the Red Sox while they're down.
Well, the Red Sox just don't look good. I mean, we're almost a month in and they don't look
That's what I'm
good.
saying. Like Yankees haven't really played anybody outstanding yet.
But you can't tell me the Red Sox aren't a good team, though. They're just not playing well.
Didn't you just contradict yourself?
But no, I'm saying
No,
they
because
still have an
Their
all-star
pitching
caliber
has been
roster.
awful. Their bullpen is awful, and their hitting has not been even close to
I
subpar.
understand that.
But
But
you can't say they're a good team right now. So you're beating them.
I
at their
didn't. I
lowest
said they're
point.
a good roster. They're still the
Roster
defending
is
champion. All they lost was bullpen. Their starting pitching are still good pitchers. They're not pitching well right now.
Yeah, but like you're talking about, I'm saying like the Yankees haven't played anybody great yet. They played the Royals, the Orioles a few times, the Giants, who
White
Can't
Sox.
Giants can't fucking score a run to save their lives,
The White Sox.
but they're not. They can score.
They lost one of those games.
Thought they did.
It just, I think when they play a good team, they're going to get exposed without the injuries, with all the injuries.
Probably. I mean, it's the Scranton Yankees right now. I mean, everybody's hurt. As long as if they can just somewhat keep pace and I mean even stay within 5 games till these guys start coming back, I think they'll be all right. But almost every game, it's someone else is going down, and
They lost
it's
2 of
just
those games to the White Sox.
And the Phillies got Segura back yesterday. Well, they got it
what
back
up, Eunice?
They got back the day before, but got hit in the head. Came
What's up,
back.
Jason?
They're getting Robertson back next week. They're getting healthier. It was just a little week or 2 of being hurt, and then they're coming back.
Eunice throwing in a hashtag Mets.
Yeah, hashtag they suck.
So
So
we know where he's at.
who's more disappointing right now, Chris Sale or DeGrom?
A sale.
I think so.
And I only said that because I think DeGrom, there's actually something wrong with them.
I mean, I think Sale's hurt in some fashion.
See, I think Chris Sale is having he didn't have that long of an offseason that he's used to.
Fuck off.
No, I'm being serious. That fucks with players. He usually gets to
God, he's been on the Red Sox for what? 2
2 years.
2 years.
Okay.
So
He didn't play all the way to October, so he's not used to that from October to February. That's 4 months.
but the
you don't
year
know,
before
like,
the
what-
year before they lost in the ALCS.
Yeah, and then his entire career before that, he didn't make the postseason.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is
Yeah,
that year before he played 2 weeks shorter than last year, and he went out and won a Cy Young last year.
Yeah, but that's less time to prepare. 'Cause by then, he'd be throwing in probably January. Well, this year, he probably wasn't throwing till at least March.
I don't think he wasn't throwing till March. Pitchers and catchers report in February.
Yeah, but they don't make them throw right away.
If he was waiting
Plus,
till
do you
March
really need
to throw,
But do you need to see? Do you need to see what Sale has?
no, it's not.
So then
It's
he
not
could have
about,
waited till March.
it's not about seeing what he has. I mean, these guys still start getting loose. I mean, I don't think a difference of 2 weeks in an offseason is going to make him come out and start this bad. I think there's something wrong, and I don't think he has a serious injury, but I think there's something in there that's
He's choking from getting all the money.
that could be factoring in too. He got paid.
Well, I think like DeGrom actually has a serious injury. Like he said, like his arm, something would happen to it, and then by Friday it was immaculately better. Which I don't know if that's a case. I think his arm's either like on a string of Tommy John or just dead.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a part of me that's always like, oh, you got the money. This is where it all goes south because it's just how these things work. But I don't know. I think there's merit to thinking that he is more injured than he's letting on. But I don't know what to say. I guess I tend to agree with the Sale start being more disappointing than DeGrom. I guess, especially I think because I'm summing it up more as the kind of like the team rather than just individual players. I'm kind of in that mindset. You're coming off a huge year. The Mets. The Mets. We're always hoping that they'll have the breakthrough like they did in 2015, but you get to be seen again. So I give it to Sale being more disappointing to start.
Which team has surprised you the most so far in the NBA playoffs?
Boston.
Yep.
And it's not because they didn't have the talent
Because they haven't lost a game.
with that. And I just think
And they fucking shit on the Bucks.
they were like, all right, let's stop fucking with everybody and play the way they were supposed to play all year. Now they're like making a case for
What's up,
Kyrie
George?
to come back.
For who to come back?
Kyrie.
Oh. Yeah.
It's like, all right, we're going to be a 5 seed, but we're going to go to the championship every year.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I just saw someone just sent me a recipe for BLT at deviled eggs.
Yikes.
Yeah, go ahead.
He goes, yikes. Well, I'm annoyed because I wanted the Celtics to be out. But, yeah,
Why?
because I don't like Boston sports. I just don't.
But Celtics fans aren't like the other fans.
I guess not.
They're Boston fans.
Just kind of lump them all together.
I didn't
New York
realize.
fans are like just as bad as
I
Boston
know,
fans.
but I'm one of them, so it's okay. All big sports towns have horrible fans. They all do. It's just we talk about the other big sports towns that have horrible fans. It's the way it works. But I didn't realize we were talking about it. Me and a couple guys at work today that Boston has like the chance to do like a clean sweep of championships in one year. That'd be the worst. That'd just be the worst thing ever.
Well, what a fall for Milwaukee.
That'd be cool.
It's not a fall from Milwaukee.
It'd be
I
awesome.
think it would be a big fall for Milwaukee. All the hype all year.
Okay. This is where people get ridiculous. Milwaukee played great in the regular season, but they're not a 1 seed. I'm sorry. Their talent level, they have Giannis, but I do not believe the talent level is a 1 seed. Boston had more talent on that team than Milwaukee.
They played.
Well-
They played in a division or in a conference where there was a injury riddled Philadelphia 76ers team who constantly had to battle chemistry issues due to those injuries and roster movements, and a Sixers team that played the streakiest basketball I've ever seen in a regular season for a team that was poised to win, that had the chance to win everything this year. I agree with Kyle. The Bucks
What up,
are
Fab?
not a 1 seed.
I understand the point you guys are making, and I think it's fair. But we're looking at the situation that it is now, and they are the 1 seed. And though that they played in a weak division that was injury riddled,
Yeah, I
there
get
was
where
a-
you're coming from. It's just
so
Hey, Tony.
I guess what my point I'm making is that if there was any name that was kind of on par with a Steph Curry, LeBron James that carried weight this year, big time, was Giannis.
Yeah, but that's it.
Well, sometimes that's all it takes.
No.
I guess so. Do you guys think in coming years that Giannis will be the guy?
yeah.
Like the best player in the NBA
Sure. For
Yeah.
just to,
I think in the next 2 years he'll be the best player in the
next
NBA.
year.
okay.
I think he was the best player in the NBA this year. He's not the
Okay,
best
so
player in the
the thing
NBA
is-
right now.
So why is that not enough? Why is that not enough
Because
for it
when
to
has
be a
it been enough?
disappointing?
When has it been enough?
It's been enough to get him to the point
Was it
they are this year.
disappointing when LeBron lost to the Warriors last year?
I think it was.
To who? It was a disappointment that that Cavs team lost to the Warriors.
It was also more impressive.
It was disappointing that the Warriors won for a lot of fans, but it wasn't a sports disappointment. Outside, if you take Giannis away from that team, that Bucks team in the East would probably be a 4 seed at best. And they probably wouldn't make it past the second round of the playoffs.
So you think without Giannis they are still in fact that good?
Yeah, they're a good play. They're a playoff team. They have pieces.
They have
as
But also
high as
remember
4.
this, they're still hurt.
but high as 4. What does high as 4 mean?
I feel
High as 4 means that they're better than Indiana.
But they still don't have Brogdon. They still don't have Mirotic. So my bad. So in order for them to beat the Celtics, they need those 2 guys back. One, Brogdon's one of the best defenders in the league. Mirotic can shoot. They don't have that. So off the bench, you have Pat Connaughton. You have Rashad Vaughn. You have guys that aren't great off the bench. So you're relying on the starting 5, where the Celtics are the deepest team in the NBA by far. With Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward coming off the bench, Marcus Morris.
I'm not disputing the depth of the Celtics and how good they actually are, and how they're kind of exceeding expectations. I guess for myself,
The Bucks and the Nuggets are the only 2 teams left in the. No, sorry. The Bucks, the Nuggets, and the Trailblazers are the only teams left in the NBA playoffs right now that if you take away Giannis, Jokic, or Lillard, respectively, they're done. In my opinion, they're done. The Bucks might win 2 games in a series best of 7, but they're not winning the series. If you take away Kyrie, that's what happened last year, and they were still pretty fucking good. If you take away Embiid, yeah, the Sixers tend to struggle without Embiid, but they still have a lot of talent, including 4 All-Stars.
Sometimes they play better without Embiid.
And sometimes they suck without him.
Yeah.
You take away whoever you want from the Warriors, big whoop. Doesn't really make a difference. I think you can take Harden away from the Rockets, and they're still a very good team. They are. They're still a very good team.
That's a tough team. If you take away Harden, they're not going to win anything.
They can win a series.
We have
not the Warriors, but they can win a series without Harden.
We have Fod on Facebook is commenting in that the Trailblazers have been a surprise this postseason.
I don't think so. I think they're perfect where they are.
OKC was a hype train
He's also calling Celtics in 7.
against the Bucks. Celtics in 5.
Kyle like this. Fod's telling
They
you
took-
that
they took
Simmons
game
is a
1
better
away.
player without Embiid.
That's true. I don't
Oh.
disagree with that.
All right. Well, there goes that.
No, because it showed. Simmons when Embiid's not on the floor, Simmons can literally run the floor. He can do what he wants to do. When Embiid's there, he has to give it to
They
Embiid.
got to go through Embiid.
Well, if Simmons was better at scoring, they would go through.
He can score, he just can't shoot.
I don't know who it was. I think it was like ESPN on Facebook or something posted a video of Ben Simmons like warming up, just like throwing brick after brick.
I think it was Klay Thompson actually.
Oh,
No, it's Ben Simmons.
it was Simmons.
But he can do it. I don't care what
You're talking
anybody
about
says.
the-
He's been working on that 3. We've seen it live in warm-ups. He can make the 3. He just doesn't shoot.
You talking about the thing that the Barstool spoofed on later?
We're talking
not
about the
sure.
video of Ben Simmons,
But I
having
know it was
balls
Ben
handed
Simmons.
to him and him bricking a lot of threes.
Yeah.
Well, I saw it has to be Simmons.
And I think it was
saw
the
a
same-
video just like you're describing.
Same shot like 8 times, but whatever.
What?
I think they shot like the same shot 8 times.
No, because it kept bouncing off the rim at different spots. Kyle,
Just
stop defending
reaping the
Ben
same
Simmons'
shot.
3-point shot. It's bad.
It is
It's atrocious.
not atrocious. He shot the ball 4 times. He's not going to do it.
What?
He hasn't made. He
Did he
hasn't made
shoot
a
4 times because he knows he can't do it?
No, if he shot it more, it wouldn't be 40%, but it'd be like 22.
You're telling me if he took 100 3-pointers, he'd make 22 of them?
No, like 22%.
Yeah, 22 of 100.
Whatever. You know. Yeah, I think it would.
I think if he took 100 threes, I think he'd make 11.
I think you make more than that.
All right, 12. That's as high as I'm going.
We have different opinions.
Uh-oh.
All right. Well, I'll set up the one-on-one game.
Get his people on the horn. Eunice on Facebook is weighing in that Leonard has been the best player of the playoffs so far.
No. He hasn't been the best player on his team. That goes to Pascal Siakam.
Best player in the NBA playoffs as far as Kevin Durant. He's averaging 36 points a game.
And Siakam is the reason why they beat the Magic, not Leonard.
Unless I may have misunderstood. I think he's saying in that series then, because he followed up saying no one on the Sixers can guard him.
Oh, he
Oh,
played
so
one
like-
game.
So I think he means that series.
Played one game. We can't go off of that. And yes, 2 people can guard him. They just need to let him do it.
Boban and TJ.
Simmons can guard him, and Butler can guard him. They need to let him do it.
I don't think Butler can. Not for a whole game.
I know Tobias can't. So,
No, well, yeah.
but I think Simmons can easily match up with him.
Like saying Pat Riley can. This guy's dead.
Back in the day.
Back in the day. All right, let's throw in Glory Road, Pat Riley versus Kawhi the Claw Leonard. Oh, that was so funny. Did you see that post-game thing? Where they were like, they asked him a question and they were in a rush. They're like, oh, we got to sign off. He goes, oh, that's it? And they're like, do you want us to ask more? And he's like, nah, I'm good.
What else you got for us, Riddler?
I don't know. I keep posting these things. People come up with their own topic questions and nobody ever has any.
I got one.
I'm
Sorry. Go ahead.
I'll just do this one and you can do yours. Are the Giants receiving too much heat for their number 6 pick?
You
Yeah.
said no draft talk.
Yeah. Okay.
Change of the
Nobody
flag.
else chimed in.
I think so. And I say that because if they honestly believe that,
You haven't even spoken.
and I believe if they thought that someone's going to trade up and get him, and they were like, all right, we just want to take him now because we want him.
That's the thing. We don't see it. We don't know what happens in war rooms. We don't know. Somebody
It's
between 7 and 15 or 7 and 16 probably was going to take Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
And instead of trading up, just use the pick you have. Waste no capital.
I mean, it's tough because now we're looking at it in hindsight.
I think they're receiving so much flack because of Josh Allen being on the board. I think if Josh Allen wasn't on the if the Raiders had taken Josh Allen.
See, I think they still would have got because Ed Oliver was
I don't-
still there.
I don't think it would have been as much heat. I don't think it would have been nearly as much.
I just think that I mean, great. Of course, the team could have traded up, and again, we're looking at it in hindsight, where we saw Miami not take a quarterback, the Broncos traded down. Again, in hindsight, I think he would have been there. I mean, it's unfortunate. I wanted the Josh Allen pick, but it is what it is. I mean, if this kid comes out and sets the NFL on fire, then it doesn't matter.
I don't think he would have been there.
It's who they want.
I think it's who the Dolphins and I think it's who the Broncos also wanted.
I think the Broncos got their guy in the second round.
I agree.
I think they went in saying Drew Lock, and after they saw the other teams pass on him, they didn't need to take him at that point. That's my opinion. I mean,
I think that the
They
Giants,
got lucky to get him in the second round.
Yes.
and I'm just
They
saying,
got like if that was the Broncos guy, they would have taken him at 20. They would have taken him at 20.
but that's
Would-
why I
because
think they figured he was going to.
Who picked first? The Dolphins. Who was supposed to pick first? The Dolphins or the Broncos?
Broncos. We're
Right.
supposed to.
So the Broncos were banking on the Bengals and the Dolphins not picking him,
And the Redskins.
and the Redskins to not pick him, taking that gamble. Like, okay, these 3 teams that we know are in the hunt for a quarterback aren't going to take our guy. I think that they fell to him at 20, and they were still like, we'll just wait. And then they couldn't ignore it when it got to the second round.
Yeah.
I think the Broncos, I think the Dolphins, I think there was interest in the guy the Giants got.
There could, like I said, I mean, we're looking at it in hindsight. I personally think he would have been there at 17. I mean, now we'll never know, but I think he would have been. But it is what it is. Again, if he comes out and say starts not this season, the next season, and he's great, it doesn't matter.
What do you do if Eli Manning goes out and has a career year and doesn't want to retire?
You sit him for one more year.
Then you say, yeah.
His contract expires.
It's what Green Bay did in a word. What do you do with him?
Okay, I understand. So if Eli goes out and has a career year. He comes back. I want a 3-year deal. I'm not ready to retire. Do you give him a 3-year deal?
3-year deal. Last year is an option.
It's a quarterback. Quarterbacks don't have the option.
No, I give him a 2-year extension.
Yeah, I think
That's
if
the
he
first
went out
thing.
and played, had a career, I think he would get the same extension.
I hope
Ben
he
just
kills
got.
it and just goes.
Or
to
you
the
just send him
Cowboys.
to L.A. and
Imagine if he goes to the
Chargers.
Cowboys and lights it up.
Oof.
The Giants don't do it. He goes to the Cowboys. Dez comes back. He throws 2,800 yards to Dez.
It's just like it's always my
Jazz
dream to
comes
play with
back.
Eli.
I think at this point, if Eli was to play for another team, I think it would have been Jacksonville, and that ship's kind of sailed.
That's
So-
true.
What, he
Mid-season
can play
trade.
the other 8 games.
That's true. I don't know. I mean, again, like you said, if he goes out and has a great season, a career season, I could see them extending him, but I don't know. I don't see it happening, I guess.
Why?
Because I don't think that the Giants' defense is good enough to keep them in games, and I don't think Eli is able to take over games.
Your defense
as a
wasn't good
quarterback.
last year, and Eli was a top 7 quarterback last year. Eli put up statistically one of his best years ever.
In yards.
Ever.
But
he threw less interceptions than he's almost ever thrown in
it
a
was
season.
in yards. But that's right. And they
But he was
still
top
only
10 in
won.
everything. He was top 10 in every stat.
He wasn't top 10 in every stat.
He was pretty close to a lot of things.
He was
The only thing he was missing on was touchdowns. His completions percentage was in the top 5.
no, it wasn't. It wasn't in the top 5.
The top 10,
It wasn't.
it was.
It wasn't.
All right, I'll bet you a shot.
But
Shot bet.
but it's just I don't think Eli is able to go out and take over games when the Giants need him to anymore. It's just I
not
love
on him.
Eli. It's not entirely on him. I agree, but he's not the quarterback that he was. I mean, even when he has time to make the throw, like he's not the same. And I love the guy. I'll love him forever. But it's getting to where it's time to start looking past him. And now they've invested a high draft pick in another quarterback. So at some point, you have to make the decision.
The Giants took 3 quarterbacks in 3 years.
In the past 3 years, Davis Webb must have looked terrible in practice. He must have been terrible.
I have a shot.
Where he was like, was he near 20?
Yeah, but I don't know how. It doesn't matter. He still statistically had one of his better years, not just in yards.
In yards, he was top
Eli
10.
Manning was. I'm going to go ahead and see. I will make a list by the end of the show of the 20 reasons the Giants season went the way it did. Eli Manning won't be on that list.
I agree with you. I'm not saying
It
Eli
wasn't his fault at all. It wasn't
I
Eli
agree.
Manning's fault at all. Giants fans as a whole have been the most unloyal son of a bitches to Eli Manning this past season. As a whole, I'm not saying you or you individually.
I agree
as
with
a
you.
whole,
I agree with
the
you.
Giants fans have been the most unloyal sons of bitches to their quarterback that went out and won them 2 Super Bowls when they had no business even being in the playoffs. And it was just like, oh, well, we're not winning now, so, like, fuck him. Like, it's scummy. I think it's absolutely garbage. This guy has been nothing but a class act his entire career, has never had locker room issues, never had off-the-field issues, never had on-the-field issues, never challenged a coach, never bitched about money. Literally a picture-perfect, by-the-book quarterback that you want for your franchise. And because he maybe put together 1 or 2 not-so-great years, as a whole, the fan base threw him to the curb and stomped his fucking face.
I agree 100%.
And as a whole, couldn't appreciate what he did last season. With no defense and really, honestly, no offensive talent around him. Besides Barkley and Beckham. Ingram didn't play, and I think
Shepard underperformed immensely.
I just think Shepard took a step back. Shepard's not a number 2. Shepard's a slot guy. Shepard's a slot guy. He's not a number 2. And I disagree with the way the Giants fan base handled the Eli Manning.
I agree.
I think it's
completely with
bullshit, and I think they're going to do the same thing to this kid if he doesn't come out and lead them to the NFC East in his first season. His first season, they are going to shit all over him if he doesn't lead them to the NFC East.
Well, he already has that predisposition that everybody's already mad that they took him with that pick. So he's already coming into.
It wouldn't have mattered if they got Dwayne Haskins.
No, but everybody hates that pick. No matter which quarterback they choose at that point.
I don't think, again, I can only speak for myself. I don't hate that they picked Daniel Jones because I figured that was the guy that if they drafted a quarterback, that's who they were going to get. I didn't exactly agree taking him at 6, but whatever. It is an added pressure now that the fans are going to put on him. Whenever he ends up playing, it could be this season that he ends up playing. At the end of this year, if the season's lost, whatever. But there is already added pressure on this kid to come out guns blazing, which I don't think is fair. But I mean, that happens in the NFL all the time. I hope that the Giants can be at least somewhat competitive this year, and this guy can take over whenever the time comes and play well. I'm not expecting him to come out and be, what Aaron Rodgers was when he first started, because, those quarterbacks don't just come around. And to expect him to be that to me is unrealistic. It's the same as I think we talked about it last week, where you draft a quarterback and expect him to be Andrew Luck right out of the gate. 7 out of 10 times they're not going to be, and we see it almost every season. The expectations on draft picks sometimes comes in way too high depending on where they were picked.
Yeah. Well, another thing too, Riddler spoke, very, very truly about, the Giants, fan base, and I kind of have similar feelings. But I think it's kind of like that city as a whole is very kind of fickle about their sports teams. It's win or you're not.
That's it.
There's no
and that's a lot of big city sport. I mean, especially for the cities that are accustomed to winning. If it doesn't happen, you're on a short leash.
Unless you're the Jets, they understand.
But even on the Jets, I mean,
you tell the fireman Ed.
You see it in across a lot of sports where players come to these big cities and they don't perform how they did in smaller cities, and they get eaten alive.
I haven't really seen it at any sort of level. Even the Eli thing
is, to me, it is outrageous.
Even close to New York, though. I haven't seen it on any other stage like that. Chicago's not like that. Quinville got fired, but that was after the Blackhawks went from winning a whole bunch of games with the same core roster to not even making the playoffs for 2 consecutive years and then starting off terribly. So they decided to go in a different direction while they still had the core. It's not like that. It's not like he had one bad season and they cut him to the Wolves. Or the Panthers, I guess I should say.
Nice.
But I don't see it in like LA sports. No one's really shitting on LeBron.
Yeah, I think I understand what you're saying, Mark, but I think New York is definitely kind of that's where the majority of that type of thing is happening. Los Angeles, I think it's just a more forgiving city all around. They'll stick with.
I don't know.
They're not as big as New York is.
Huh?
LA hated the Rams when they came home.
I think the sport fans aren't as big into it as New York fans are in LA. Especially the Angels.
No, I think as a whole, especially in their cities, I think New York fans are tied with Philadelphia fans as the worst fans. And
I agree with that.
Because Philadelphia fans are absolute assholes at games. You go to a game and they're a fan of the other team, they shit all over you. I've been to a game where it was Eagles Cowboys and a grown man threw a hot dog at the back of a 14-year-old girl's head that was wearing a Tony Romo jersey.
What kind of hot dog?
What are we talking about?
A pork one, Kyle. A pork one.
Well, if it was a turkey dog, I understand.
I'm just saying, that's Phillies fans. New York fans are the same way. It's just instead of taking it out on the fans, they just take it out on their team. There's no loyalty. The last like shred of loyalty as a whole base of New York fans was when Jeter retired. After that, it was all gone. I mean, the fans immediately took to the internet and shit on Odell sucked. He was a cancer.
Well, I know one guy in particular.
But I've seen other
Hold on,
posts about
hold
it.
on.
But I've seen other posts about it. Like he was a cancer. We were making the playoffs before we got him. Okay. Pretty sure if back 16 games, you would have given half your year's salary to suck his dick.
Also, they didn't make the playoffs the year before they had him. So he was picked at 12. So
I'm just saying, like, it irks me how quick a team is. Like, could you imagine if Chris Sale was pitching for the Yankees?
No.
Yeah, they'd be shooting him a new one.
It'd be the
Every
most-
sports,
Carl
If
Pavano.
Chris Sale was pitching for the Yankees this season, or instead of went from the White Sox to the Yankees and had the same exact thing he had with the Red Sox, he'd be the most hated sports athlete by a fan base right now over all sports.
You guys are dicks.
But it's true.
God, these guys are just as bad.
No, we understand.
I mean, some of it's
We
deserved.
understand.
All right, we got it real quick. Kyle, you had one you wanted to talk about. Let's make it
I
quick.
just wanted to say, is it time for the San Fran Giants to finally let go of that World Series players? Buster Posey, Madison Bumgarner, Brandon Bell.
Yes.
Yes.
It's time to blow it up. They
Not
need
blow
to.
it up.
They need to. Well, I mean, they need to rebuild.
Not blow it up. They need while these guys still have prospect worthy talent, they need to trade them for people. And then
Tony,
they-
Cowboy suck. Sorry.
I think they still have enough firepower within the World Series players to get enough prospects to make themselves like somewhat of a contending team and still build up their prospects.
Bumgarner's got to go. He needs to change the scenery in the worst way. He's been
Mhm.
struggling there in the last.
He'd look really good in black and white pinstripes.
And Posey, I
He would also look good in black and white pinstripes.
just think it's time.
Anybody but the guys we have would be fantastic.
Wellington's not bad, but I just think it's time for those two guys in particular to
There's a
they need
petition
to
right
move
now
on
going.
from.
There's a petition ever in Chicago to have him legally change his name to Beef Wellington Castillo. It's a real thing. You're not from there. You're a shitty New York fan.
Anybody that needs a
Neither does
catcher
me.
or a first baseman and a number one starter.
I want Goldschmidt. Give me Goldschmidt. You're the Giants. I'm the White Sox. Give me Goldschmidt.
Yeah, well, I don't have him.
Make it work.
Chris, you're St. Louis.
Yes.
Be a part of this trade.
No.
Well, all right. So we'll be back in the next hour. It's pretty much going to be littered with NFL draft. The Mass will probably resurrect for that hour and then go back into hibernation for hour 3. It'll be the Mass mock moles era. I couldn't think of an mojito. Mass moles mojito. The Mass mock
Moles.
mojito.
You said mass moles, but
Yeah, whatever. We'll be back in like fucking 5 minutes.
We got some movies, refrigerators. We got some movies, color TV.
Tyler Breeze.
Mama OB.
Tyler Breeze.
Tyler, my brother.
And Renee Zellweger.
No.
No.
But
But thank
all
you
right.
nonetheless.
Is it Renee or Reen?
Well, it's Renee. It's
Is it
Shane's
Pat-
mom. Mama OB.
Oh,
so
not
not
Pat
Reed.
Renee.
Not Reen.
Not Pat. Not Pat Renee.
Kyle.
That's Reen.
Pat Renee is not Shane's mom. So
Carl
Well,
Davino joined in.
hold
Don't know if
on.
he's still there.
How do you
What's up,
know?
Carl?
I guess I don't. But I also think Shane's older than Reen. So I don't know. So
I
yeah,
don't know.
Carl, what's up?
If he's still there, he tuned in like as soon as he went to break. So,
All right, so we're back. Getting sports with drunk NFL draft edition. Do 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 do. That was the ESPN.
Hello.
Do 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 do.
What?
This guy just hello.
So the NFL
Kyle?
draft happened all 7 rounds. Kyle and I and Maxine Washable missed the 2nd and 3rd rounds to watch 3 hours of Avengers Endgame.
Yarp.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I didn't see the end coming when Wolverine died. Remember when Wolverine was in there and he fought
Yeah, it was
Batman?
good.
And he
Him and
fought-
Magneto.
and they fought Batman.
It's Magnetus.
First of all, it's only one.
Guys, it's Magnet. Anyway, but yeah, so we watched the first round as almost a collective unit. The Mass didn't want to hang out with us.
Yeah, you jerk.
Yep.
Nerd.
Yep. And then I watched the 2nd and 3rd round actually from the Bills War Room. And then the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th round I watched from the highlights on ESPN. Yeah.
All right.
But we're here because we are sports analysis.
Yeah.
We're sports guys. We're the
I-
sports guys.
Yeah.
That's what we are. We're sports guys. But we're here to break down the teams. We're here to give them grades.
I don't know if we can quite be called analysts.
No. We're just sports,
Kyle's perked up.
we're just sports guys. We're not analysts. We're sports guys. Now, I thought the team grades would be super cool because it's like original content. Nobody else is really doing that. I also figured we could do some
Super original.
I figured we could do some reaches and tumbles, also original. And then at the end of it, we could do the way too early division winner predictions. What do you guys think?
Yarp.
I think it's like I'm going home.
Tell you what, I don't know where you came up with these ideas, but I'm on board.
Mass, if you're going
You
home,
wait till after.
stop at a
You
gas
wait till
station,
after
come
this when
back.
we show a video package of the top 10 things that happened yesterday in sports. Nobody's doing that. It's crazy. I was
Have a
actually
little
thinking
tune
about-
behind it.
I was actually thinking about,
Da-da-da.
yeah, something like that'd be good. We should like base ourselves in a weird fucking kind of ghetto town in Connecticut that like
across from an amusement park.
that people often mistake for Quasi.
What's up, Josh?
Hey,
Josh Groban.
No, Josh Wilson.
Josh Groban CD. All right, so Arizona Cardinals.
That's me.
Well, how'd they do?
I give them. Oh, sorry, you were going to say something? You seemed like really amped up to say something, and then I kind of started talking and it deflated it. So I
Well, it's
fall
been further
back.
deflated now.
I'm sorry. I'm just
You have Belichick my balls.
we have a clip in week 1.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I have the okay.
Yeah.
I give. Son of a bitch. He's a funny guy. I give the Cardinals a B minus,
You can't give him an AB minus.
an A B positive. Blood type.
No, you can't give him 2 letters.
No. I see what he's doing there. I give him an B minus. They went out. There was some discrepancy, like, oh, they're not going to get Kyler Murray. They are getting Kyler Murray. At the end of the day, they got Kyler Murray, the guy that we thought they were going to get. At least I did.
He looks like a midget.
He
does.
You see that edited picture someone made of him?
Oh, the one with him standing on the stool
the
next to
chair.
Goodell. Did you see the picture of him sporting the Bo Jackson? Like, remember when Bo Jackson did the picture with the pads and the bat? There's a picture of him doing it, and he looks like a lollipop kid. His head's way too big for his body. He's got a huge forehead. He looks like a Keebler elf. Anyway, moving on.
They got the guy they wanted.
So did you give him the B minus grade simply just for that pick?
No, I give him
Oh.
the B minus grade because they definitely needed offensive linemen, and that was not addressed at all in this draft. They drafted Lamont Galliard, if that's how you say it, late as a center, but I think more attention could have been paid. It's a defense that is kind of, I guess, lacking in identity, but not without talent. And they added some additions there in with defensive lineman Zach Allen in the 3rd round. I think this was an opportunity to kind of really bolster this offense and kind of. I think the plan is Kyler Murray for a long time, and I think they drafted him and didn't do much else. So B-, Arizona Cardinals.
Anybody have any grades they like to give the Cardinals?
I give them an A-.
Okay.
They got the quarterback that they wanted. They got an extra pick for Rosen, which they got Andy Isabella. They added a receiver, which they desperately need. They got another receiver in the 4th. And they got Byron Murphy in the 2nd. I think it's a solid first 4 rounds. Address needs in every aspect.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Cardinals had a pretty good draft. We'll see. We'll see what Kyler can do. I mean, I wasn't totally sold on him personally, but
You're not a Cardinal.
it's his time. That's true. I'm not a Cardinal. So
We're not going to break, by the way.
Okay.
We're not going to have enough time. All right. So 49ers.
That's also you, isn't it?
No, they're not in the same division. Duh. Why is everyone looking at me?
He's going in order.
New York 49ers.
Oh, got the NFC West.
Remember when they had the
I
mine?
have
Remember
the NFC.
it's the New York 49ers and they had the mine.
And I got to be honest, I thought we were going alphabetical order. That's why I didn't perk right up. But that's okay. I'm here to talk to you about the San Francisco 49ers, who don't play in San Francisco, by the way. Fun fact for everyone that also knows that.
Did they play in New York? 'Cause they had to mine through all the rubble.
New York 49ers. I give them an A-.
Oh, Rebecca's giving me the dirty look like she didn't make a too large fucking tower pizza joke in front of a priest.
Nick Bosa, arguably the best player in the draft, best player in the
Very
league.
arguably.
It's the guy we anticipated them picking. We have high expectations of him. I think it was that was the pick to make, and they went ahead and made the right decision. 49ers are kind of in a tough spot, kind of in no man's land in that division. I think it's definitely Rams division to lose at this point. You know, the Seahawks kind of dance on the fringe of being good and not. So the needs there, Garoppolo appears to be the quarterback they want to have for the future. I guess building a team around him is the plan. They went up and picked up Jalen Hurd with the 67th pick, which would be, I don't know, where in the second round. I don't know.
It's a third round.
It's a third round pick. I'm not really good at math. The median mode conversation from earlier tonight probably gave that away. But I think that's a good pickup for the 49ers, looking to kind of add some oomph to that offense. Souls just rolling his eyes because he just loves to talk draft, and everyone else who has an opinion doesn't matter. With the 110th pick, they drafted a punter, which I thought was exciting. Good.
We don't do the whole draft.
Good for the punter. But I give them an A-, solely on the premise that Bosa was picked.
Real quick, you can just give them grades. I don't want explanations.
Oh,
I give the 49ers a C-.
All right. You can give them 2-sentence explanation.
well.
They didn't need to draft a punter in the 4th round. And Jalen Hurd
You don't have to draft a punter, period. That does not need to
and
occur,
Jalen
but it
Hurd
does.
is not a 3rd-round talent.
Anybody else going to weigh in? You don't have to weigh in if you don't want to.
Gonna agree with Souls, C-. Who's their GM?
John Lynch.
John Lynch. John Lynch knows how to draft in the first 2 rounds, tries to get cute after that. He doesn't know how to draft past the 3rd round.
You saying you should be lynched?
Yes.
It's kind of like how I'm Madden. I start off strong, and then I've just.
We're talking about fantasy drafts?
Yeah.
Where you
You can only
draft
go
a quarter?
2 rounds?
Yeah, they let the computer do the rest.
Well, that's different.
Well, it'll change now because it used to just be like, all right, got Brown and Bell.
Yeah. Now he has to legally say that they are not good.
I don't know. They're good. They're just assholes.
Moving on.
Well, I'm next.
Why
Hello,
not?
I am the New York Jets.
Oh, you're just going?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, okay. Bengals are on the clock.
Oh, shit. All right. All right. So,
Just pull up a
Cincinnati-
PowerPoint.
Cincinnati Bengals had
Well, the Bengals actually go next.
That's what we did the 49ers second.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Cincinnati had average draft. I'd give them a C. I love their pick of Jonah Williams at number 11. I think he was a top 5 talent in this draft, bar none. He's going to solidify that line for the next 10 years, no question. I hated their pick of Drew Sample at their second round pick, number 20. Reached over probably 7 other tight ends that I would have had ahead of him.
Oh, like Irv Smith?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Jermaine Pratt was a 5th round pick that they picked up in the 3rd. Ryan Finley they picked up in the 4th round. Will Greer was still available, and I really think he would have been a better viable option for them. The only thing that I really liked that they did was pick up Trayvon Williams from Texas A&M and Rodney Anderson out of Oklahoma to try and spell Joe Mixon.
Anybody else like that? Anything?
I think that was pretty fair. I mean, the Bengals, I think, had a decent draft.
Colts.
I didn't have that division.
I
I like the dramatic pause.
Colts, as I go up through my document.
Hey, Michaela.
All right, Colts for me. I give him a B minus. That's down with some chips on the
Could you guys make any more noise?
I give him a B minus. I don't really have any super reasoning. I think offensively, the Colts have put themselves in a good position. Defensively, they had a lot of needs. They picked up Kyle's favorite player was Rock Yasin. Kyle's a big fan of his. And
His name.
Oh, his name and the player. So a good addition to corner for the Colts. And the defense is not that good. So they needed those pieces. That's it. I'll have to say. B minus.
Anybody care to weigh in?
I agree. I mean, the Colts, I think, definitely had to go more defensive side in this draft. And they picked up pieces that'll help them now, which is good.
We got Rocky. So that's all I got to say.
Rockison.
Dolphins.
Oh, hello.
Kyle.
That is me also.
You said it too quick, you liar.
I know. I tipped my hand.
Shit. I wrote a big page.
I can't wait to disagree with Kyle just because of
Go ahead.
the sake of disagreeing.
So, I gave the Patriot.
Souls.
Go ahead. I gave the Dolphins a solid B. In the first round, they got Christian Wilkins, who could play anywhere on the D line. He's very versatile. Part of the power range. Big reason why I like the guy. Big reason. It was a solid pick for them at 13. And then they got a quarterback, and they traded for Josh Rosen. Gave up a 2nd round pick. I think that's fine. You got a top 10 pick last year. See what we can get out of him. Good move on their part. And then
Was he top 10 last year? What was he, 10?
yeah.
I thought he was 13.
I'm not saying you were wrong. I was
No,
just asking.
I agree.
I was just
flipping
asking.
off. Got a guy name that I really like here. Linebacker Andrew Van Ginkel. They picked 2 Wisconsin players back to back. Wisconsin players are always tough nosed players, which is always good. And then later on, they picked an offensive lineman, they picked a fullback, and they picked another running back. The running back is kind of what throws me off, but he might just be a special teamer if he makes the team. I think they had a solid draft. They got what they needed. Nothing flashy, but good all around.
B minus. The only reason I don't entirely hate the Wilkins pick is because they got Flores as our head coach.
Because he was a Power Ranger?
Because they have Flores as the head coach.
That's good.
And I trust him to actually make good decisions on the D line. I personally don't think he was worthy of the 13th overall pick. I think there were a couple other players that could have been picked there, like Brian Burns out of Florida. The rest of the draft was very safe. They added a lot of pieces to their offense to try and build around for the future. Again, very safe draft.
I agree. Safe draft. Good offensive line picks.
Vikings. Moving on.
Oh,
Bears.
Bears.
Moving on.
Sorry.
The video is pretty funny.
Chargers. Bills.
All right, what up, yo? So, I gave the Buffalo Bills an A.
Even Kyle was surprised by that rating. He goes, I give him an A. Ooh.
So, they got Ed Oliver.
Yeah.
Fell to him. Replaced Kyle Williams. Big need there.
Yup.
Second round, they got Cody Ford. Big time offensive lineman. They needed offensive line help. They got a big help there. Then you got a running back and a tight end. I don't know why they picked a running back. They have 5 on the fucking roster now.
Yeah, but they're all old as hell.
It's not true. T.J. Yeldon's not old.
Sean McCoy's not old as hell. Just on the
Still
wrong
old.
side of 30.
Well, like Chris, I'll give you the fact that Frank Gore's pretty old.
How many of those old ass guys have arthritis in their knees?
That's true.
All right.
So
We'll
like
get there.
they have 4 legitimate running backs. Whatever. They picked up a tight end in Dawson Knox. Solid pick. They need weapons.
Dawson Knox was one of my favorite picks of this draft, by the way.
And then in the later round, they got some in the 4th through 6th. They got more defense, and they took another tight end in the 7th. They took care of the biggest needs in the offensive line, playmaking ability, and to replace Kyle Williams essentially.
Yeah.
So I think the Bills did an excellent job. Congratulations, Buffalo.
Bills got one of the steals of the draft by having Ed Oliver fall all the way to number 9. Take one of the best offensive linemen in the draft, second round, in Cody Ford. Devin Singletary was probably the number 1 running back besides what's the kid's name from Alabama?
Just 2 of them. Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs. Probably the number 1 running back in the draft besides Josh Jacobs. To groom for the future, have him learn behind some of the best running backs to ever play the game. Bills, fantastic draft.
Yep, good draft. Probably should have drafted a tight end. They never pan out. Chris Gregg, that's the best example I could think of.
Listen, there's a difference between Chris Gregg and the other guys.
Chris Gregg was a highly anticipated pick in the 3rd round.
It's not like he was terrible. He just got hurt.
That's what I'm saying. Give him a chance. Any team.
They have. He keeps getting hurt.
I know. Just keep giving him chances, though.
Eagles.
All right. Eagles. Bottom line, I'm giving their draft B-. Absolutely ruined the Houston Texans' day by jumping up 2 picks and taking the player that they've been waiting all draft for, and Andre Dillard, which was the funniest thing to me. I love that they did that and make them panic and pick a developmental tackle. Miles Sanders comes in out of Penn State. Fantastic pick. I really think he's going to work very well in that backfield. Pair well alongside Howard for a year.
What's up, Eric?
I'm not a huge fan of the JJ Arcega-Whiteside pick. A lot of people have been saying that they're getting 2 Deshaun Watsons. I don't think that that's a problem. I think that's a pretty good problem to have. I just don't think that he has anywhere near that level of talent. You get Sharif Miller in the 4th round. Brandon Graham's probably going to be gone in a couple of years. So good time to let this kid develop behind him. And then you take another running back in Clayton Thorson out of Northwest. I mean, I don't really know much about the kid, so I give it a C.
You give the Eagles a C?
No, I gave them a B-. I gave the Clayton Thorson pick a C.
Rams.
Is that a Rams?
Oh, that's me. I give the Rams a C+. I say that only because it's a tough position they're in. You're reigning NFC champs. There's stuff to fix, but those things to fix are, I don't even know what to say because the team is pretty solid and it has decent depth. It just they picked players to fill a roster. I guess it was nothing super exciting. I feel it was just players to fill roster spots.
They need a defense.
I don't think. I mean, it's an older defense by what we view as in NFL today. So that they drafted, I guess, youth because you're the rookies. Obviously, I'm kind of just sputtering here, but it's a team coming off a fantastic season, and I think they're going to duplicate that success. They just filled roster spots. C+.
Mass.
I wasn't exactly thrilled with their draft. I wouldn't give it a C though. I'd probably give it a B minus. Like Sol says, I do wish that they had addressed defense a little bit more. But to get a player like Taylor Rapp at 61, I would have been happy with him at 31. But you know, you get a kid that's going to come in and learn behind Eric Weddle, learn behind John Johnson, who probably will turn out to be one of the better safeties in the league. Calling it now. I don't hate the Darrell Henderson pick because McVay did. I can't remember who they brought in from the Cowboys a couple years ago. But they were trying to do the same thing where you get a kid who's quick and can get out and run fast.
Saints.
What'd you say?
We're crunching for time.
B minus.
Saints.
Hey.
Hey, how are you? How are you, New Orleans?
Hey, I'm doing well. Having a good day there, Bobby.
You're a
Thanks.
liar.
How was your draft?
Good. I gave them a
No. What'd you give yourself?
What?
The Saints. What'd you give yourself?
A minus,
Oh, nice. Fine.
and I
Are you
will.
sleeping with the teacher?
Yeah. So we didn't have a first round pick, but we had some very good value in the second. And give me a second. Of course, fucking far this way. All right. So we traded up in the second round to get Eric McCoy, and he was there waiting for us. So we decided to jump on it. And also Max Unger retired, so it was a necessity at center. Then we picked back-to-back safeties. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson I believe, was a good value pick there. Supposed to be gone way before that.
Going to end up being the steal of the draft, I think.
He fell to us, and we decided to pick him. And we took another safety because he fell to us, and Saquon Hampton. So back-to-back safety just fell to us. You know, that can be starters or, yeah. And then we took tight end Alzi Mack, who's a third-round guy that fell to us again. I didn't feel like a lot of people fell to us, and we just grabbed the best available at all times.
Jaguars.
So Jaguars, I give ourselves an A. Kind of surprised they didn't go with an offensive pick like a Hawkinson, which we kind of anticipated, or any other tight end from Iowa whose name escapes me. But getting Josh Allen, bolstering the defense, so it's also a good pick. Also, Quincy Williams, we picked in 98, which is a speedy linebacker. The defense is going to return to form, I believe, next year, and I think it's a good addition, creates depth. And grabbing a Juwan Taylor with a 35th pick, very, very promising offensive tackle, bolster the line there, and hopefully the running game will pick up again. So, A for us in Jacksonville.
I disagree.
All right.
I give you a B minus, and I say that only because I love your first two picks. Absolutely love it. But every pick after that, it's a head scratcher. You didn't need a linebacker. You didn't need to pick that tight end that early. You should have got a receiver. You should have got more offensive line help, in my opinion.
All right. I thank you for your input.
Carolina.
So, hi, how are you, Paul?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Carolina.
So I give me a B plus. In the first round and the second round, we got Brian Burns and Greg Little. Two needs that we definitely needed. We needed to get we needed a replacement for Peppers. We needed to upgrade all offensive line positions. And then we picked quarterback Will Greer, local guy. We need a backup quarterback just in case Cam's hurt. We can build him up if Cam can't play long term. It's a good value pick there. And we took another running back to complement McCaffrey. And we didn't take a receiver until the 7th round. But I wish that someone fell to us earlier.
Washington Redskins.
All right. The Washington Redskins had probably one of my favorite drafts. Excuse me, I'm fat. I'm a little out of breath from running up the stairs.
You
How'd that go?
them too.
Yeah, that too.
Did you get dip?
No.
Dick.
Penis.
Watch your mouth.
Dwayne Haskins fell to them at 15, which they couldn't have asked for anything better. They trade back up to get Montez Sweat in the first round because rumors are now starting to circulate that he fell because of character problems, motivation issues, stuff like that. If that's true, they got a good D line around him. That'll probably help him. I don't know, get past those character concerns and start to develop into a really good player. I thought he was very raw, so I'm not surprised he fell that far. He's an athletic freak, but didn't really have the technique to make it further in the draft. Love that they took Bryce Love in the 4th round. The only thing that I really hated was they took Wes Martin out of Indiana and then immediately took another center the next round. So I feel like that was a very big buyer's remorse kind of pick. Give them an A.
Yep.
All right. Curveball. Browns.
All right. Browns. Their 1st round pick. They took Odell Beckham Jr. You take that trade 100 times out of 100. There's no question about that. 2nd round. Greedy Williams fell to them. Fan-fucking-tastic. You now have Greedy Williams and Denzel Ward as your lockdown corners. You are in very good shape. Mox, Toast of Excellence, Sion Takitaki, linebacker out of BYU. Not a huge fan of that pick. Sheldrick Redwine out of Miami, safety. Give him a little bit of depth back there. Allowed them to play in sub packages. Mac Wilson, a linebacker out of Alabama. Ugh. Got good value for him falling this far. I wasn't as high as. Did you break it?
I tried to pull it out of my back, and this fell on my head. I'm sorry.
Wasn't as high on Mac Wilson as a lot of other people were. A lot of people had him graded as a 3rd round player. Souls, you could probably speak on that.
Now I got my strong hand.
I didn't think he was worth it that high. I think they got good value grabbing him in the 5th round. They took a kicker out of Oklahoma, which is always funny.
Well, anything's better than Greg Joseph.
That's true.
A. Parky?
He's better than Joseph.
Double doink.
He just had a
Mass. I
couple
hope Gurley dies.
That's all right.
I'd love to get some thoughts on what the the Tennessee Titans did.
D, moving on.
The Tennessee Titans. I really enjoyed the thing that McAfee started off the draft with.
Which was fucking hysterical.
A lot of credit to him.
Well, that was for the Colts, guy.
But he was dissing the Titans.
So yeah, up yours, Souls.
Hey, watch your mouth.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
Team Souls on this one.
There's children watching.
Are there? You're right. I'm sorry. Mass, I thought you were raising your hand. Titans, I give him a B plus. Drafted Jeffrey Simmons with the 19th pick. Missed the whole previous with ACL. But they have ACL injury. I guess high expectations for when he comes back. Solis told me that he's a player worth waiting for, which I found is an interesting concept.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, they took a lineman in the 82nd pick, Nate Davis. I never have a problem with taking offensive line at any point. Just, it's a hot commodity. Titans kind of at the bottom of the totem pole there. I feel like they didn't address all their needs, which I think their needs are many. But all in all, I think they didn't have a terrible draft. B plus.
Titans did what they did best. They were average.
Yeah.
I give them a C plus.
I'd say right around there. I'm not a huge fan of the AJ Brown pick. I understand why they made it. I just think that there were bigger needs that were still on the board that they could have taken. I do like the Simmons pick. It does allow for able to get one of his guys on that D line. Average.
All right.
How'd the Chiefs do?
The Kansas City Chiefs did all right.
Ooh, big thumbs down for the
They
Mets.
did all right. They did not. They didn't have a first round pick.
They had Frank Clark. That was their first.
That's what I
round
mean. They overpaid greatly for Frank Clark. I mean, I guess overall their draft wasn't terrible, but their first pick coming in at 56 was a wide receiver. They drafted a few defensive pieces. Overall, I give them, I don't know, I guess in like the low B range. It's a team that
Potentially high C's.
yeah, like a C plus B minus type. I mean, it's
like
a
an
team
80, 81?
79, 80. It's a team that I mean, last year we saw them. They were an explosive team all season,
79.5. It's all on how the teacher's their dick or not.
and I mean they've lost pieces. I mean, Kareem Hunt is gone. We don't know what's going to happen with Hill,
He's going on the exemplars.
but it's just I think they had an okay draft. I don't think they would have been able to do much better with the draft capital they had this year. Souls?
I give them a B minus. You know, they're kind of with the receiver pick in the second round. They're kind of preparing.
For the absence of Tyreek.
Yeah, and they said he's basically like the same type of receiver.
Mhm. And with the rapist in the 4th round, they're preparing for the loss of juvenile delinquents on their team.
And then Justin Thornhill, you know, they've got to replace.
I'm not stating the 4th round pick was a rapist, by the way.
Good because they didn't have a 4th round pick.
I didn't know. I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to be like Big Benning anybody in this.
Anyway, Justin Thornhill is a replacement pick for Eric Berry, so it's needed as well. That's it.
D.
You giving him a D?
D.
Chiefs a D?
Chiefs a D.
Chiefs a D. All right. How about them Packers?
The Pack. I feel like my teams are just going to get rattled off here.
Well, yeah.
I know. The Packers, to me, had a pretty good draft. I mean, they had a lot of picks this year, and they addressed a lot of needs that they had. I mean, the Packers' defense was not good. They were aging and they were giving up points like crazy. So I mean, their first two picks, their two picks in the first round went to address the defense, which I think was a great call. They got offensive line help. They got a couple of offensive weapons and just more defense. I give them an A because they went out and they drafted good players that filled needs.
I'm going to go ahead and give them a B.
Oh, boy.
I'm not a huge fan of the Rashawn Gary pick. I'm still in the camp that he's too raw to come in and produce right away at the level that everybody expects him to. I was not a huge fan of the Darnell Savage pick at all. I hated that pick. There were safeties on the board that could have come a lot sooner than that. Jonathan Abrams, number 1. They tried this experiment a couple years ago. I don't know if you guys remember. It's a player named Demarius Randall who got shipped to Cleveland and played a lot better in Cleveland. Erdogan James out of Mississippi State, great pick, helped solidify the offensive line. Sternberger out of A&M, nice second string tight end for Rodgers to develop. Not a bad draft, but they could have made better picks.
You got the right needs, just not the right guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, son?
I do. But do you hear what the Dallas Cowboys are grading?
I do not. I don't care about that.
I'm going to go ahead and give the Dallas Cowboys a B. Their first round pick was Amari Cooper. It only doesn't get an A from me because you're not getting him on a rookie deal. You're going to have to pay him next year. Tristan Hill reminds me a lot of Taco Charlton.
Taco.
You mean tackle fall.
Tackle fall. Reminds me a lot of Taco Charlton, except a little bit better.
What the fuck was that?
High fives all around, guys.
Yeah.
Was that a fart?
It was. Yo.
Did you hear that, Kendall?
I actually thought it was the heater.
I did too.
That sounded like a whoopee cushion in like in a pool of creme chets. All right, go ahead now.
No, that was basically my analysis of the Dallas Cowboys. Good job.
Shit.
Connor McGovern, I think, was a very good depth pick. They're not going to be able to pay Lyle Collins in a couple of years. He's going to be able to come and fill on that spot of the interior line perfectly fine. I think he'll even be able to take over Frederick if he doesn't ever come back. Don't like Tony Pollard out of Memphis.
Yeah, real weird. They drafted 2 running backs.
Yeah.
Just seems kind of strange. I don't know. Like,
I thought there was like a joke coming there.
no, they
That's why-
they drafted 2 running backs. It just seems kind of
Any
Odd.
any other comments?
B.
Tell us. B.
say B.
I'd be very curious to know how the New England Patriots is biggest rivals the New York Jets did.
Got him.
I was so excited to the Jets. I mean the Patriots. Fuck. Here, give another one.
Kyle, just say your notes.
Yeah, dude. All right. I give the Jets a B minus. I think they did a great job in the first round. Quinn Williams is a great pick. You were gonna get what you're gonna get out of him anyways.
Bless you. Thank you.
All right. They were trying really hard to trade up in the second round. They weren't able to do it. And I mean, I think it kind of cost them. They did get a second round talent in Ja'Kai Polite, but he had a terrible combine. He went from being like a first round guy to a third round guy in like 24 hours. You know, I didn't think the Jets had a lot of need they didn't address. I think they do need another a big time wide receiver. They need a tight end. But they lost Varian Jenkins a couple years ago. And that's about it. Jets suck.
Who is their tight end right now? I don't
Probably
even
somebody they're going to pick up in a few years from this new graded team, the Baltimore Ravens.
All right, the Ravens. Ravens were very safe draft.
So many fucking PowerPoint slides.
know.
Why do they put in these animations?
Can you spin it around?
Transitions.
I want to see it. Oh my god. So much effort was put into this.
Not really. It literally was copy and pasted from something. Marquise Brown,
He
not
did the math to figure out like where they picked in the first round and how that turns into a decimal.
I
no,
mean,
I didn't. That's why I stole the picture.
he has are all the slides their secondary colors and like the
It's
logo?
called a theme.
No.
Maybe if you tried hard at something, you would understand.
Kyle, I run the show. Give me a break.
All
You don't run the show. You just push some buttons.
right, sorry, the Ravens.
Take that, souls.
Oh, yeah? Do something for homework one time.
Can you guys let Massey talk?
I can't. I'm arguing with Kendall. Go
Sorry,
ahead.
I
Mass.
say we get into a team fist fight. Me, Kyle, and the Mass versus Mock, Rita, and Red Baron.
I got put on the wrong team.
I was actually hoping to go solo on this one.
Mass, who do you want to fight? Rita or Mock?
Actually, wait, is it Drunk Kendall?
Yes.
Oh, then yeah, I'm on the good team.
Yeah? You think so?
He gets aggressive.
All right, I'll take Kendall.
I'll take Mock.
I think Kyle.
Just
Kyle
'cause-
would be happy with either one, to be honest. Rebecca,
Kyle fighting Rebecca.
you ever been Alabama slammed in a non-sexual way? No? Thanks. You're about to be Alabama slammed. All right. Anyway, moving on.
Ravens.
Ravens.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, make a pick. We're waiting.
Marquise Brown, good wide receiver, bad for the Ravens. Gave it a B. Jalen Ferguson fell to them in the third round. I really think they're going to hit on that pick, get a Zadarius Smith type to really actually drive that up. Like Justice Hill's pick in the fourth round as a running back. Very safe, very average picks. I give them a B.
Nice.
Yeah, I agree. They just kind of let it ride, took needs, but didn't make really any splashes.
Anybody else? We're good. Good. Did Elway finally get his quarterback? Denver Broncos.
Ooh.
That would be me.
No, it's not.
I am the AFC NFC South.
What?
Just please, somebody.
God, all these jokes have just gone in the toilet.
I was like, wait a minute.
Because this show is a toilet today.
Yeah.
Bad show. Keep tuning in.
I think
It'll
that
only
the
get
Denver
worse from here.
Broncos.
Yeah.
Denver Broncos, I think, had a very good draft. They were able to trade down with the Steelers and still pick up a great offensive weapon and Noah Fant. They were able to take Fant, whatever. I think it's Font.
I'd be F-O-N-T.
No, because it's not Fanta. It's
What?
Fanta.
This is very off topic.
but again, they took an offensive lineman in the second round and were able to get the quarterback I think they wanted in the second round and Drew Lock. I give the Broncos an A.
All right, Sosa's going to tell you why you're wrong.
Yeah.
I got nothing to say. It's a good grade.
What? Agreeing with Mock?
This is unheard of.
Minnesota Vikings on the clock.
Oh. The Minnesota Vikings.
Selected.
Just one moment.
Get your PowerPoint going.
The Minnesota Vikings. They shored up the offensive line, which was very poor last season.
About fucking time they did it.
I mean, really, they had to address it. Use their 18th pick on Garrett Bradbury. It was a good move. They need more force up front. The tight end in the second round, I thought was kind of strange. Again, Irv Smith, I think will be good, but
They're moving on from Rudolph.
didn't they just pay him?
No.
I thought they just extended him.
Even though they said they were trying to trade him hard during the trade.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I think they kind of gave up on him.
But I mean, even still, Rudolph has been a solid tight end for them, especially in the red zone.
Pittsburgh.
Back Pettigrew.
I personally give the Vikings a B grade. Some of the picks they made kind of didn't really make much sense to me. They drafted 2 wide receivers. I don't know. To me, they have a very deep receiving core as it is, and guys that they're paying a lot of money. So I think they could use those picks elsewhere, but I give them a B.
Yep. Anybody? No?
Obligatory fuck the Vikings.
Atlanta Falcons?
Hey. So, I personally give them a B
That's
minus.
a cousin. Hey. How you doing?
Hey. So, in the first round, they got Chris Lindstrom, guard, which is a good pick. They needed help. Then they traded back in the first round to get another offensive lineman, which I didn't understand. I think you could have used that to get like an explosive, like corner or receiver or something along those lines because they didn't need another offensive lineman. They had a solid one last year. I get it; they're trying to keep Matt Ryan up or whatever. But they got running back Quadri Olson out of Pitt. I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea who the fuck that guy is. But they need another running back because they lost Coleman. So
What do
good
you give
pick.
What do you give him?
I give him a B. I said.
Oh, I didn't hear him. I'm sorry. Fair.
A.
I'll probably give him a B plus minus.
I'm in that B range because I agree with what Sol said is that they traded back up and they could have used that pick on the defensive side of the ball.
But you like who you like.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe there's an offensive lineman that's injured. We don't know about yet.
Yeah.
They could have
Sure.
got Byron Murphy.
But they don't need a defensive back.
Kind of.
They took a defensive back right after they took the tackle.
They don't need. They don't really need that many like high quality defensive backs.
No, I really think that.
Everyone they had last year was just hurt.
Yeah, I don't think their defense is a problem.
Everyone.
Wow. That was
Oh,
charges.
That is me.
Yeah, you better hurry up.
Yeah, man.
I'm getting there. The Chargers for me again had a decent draft. I mean, first round they took a defensive tackle, which to me the Chargers defense played very well last year. They were kind of an underrated defense, but
defense.
I still think they needed to add a little more firepower, especially playing. I mean, we don't know what the Chiefs will be now, but the Chiefs were a big offense. The Raiders, we don't know. I mean, they added some pieces. They can be better offensively.
A lot of question marks.
A lot of questions, absolutely, but they can be good. Is what I'm- no, the Raiders offense. But again, they went heavily defense in this year's draft. I give them a B plus. I think the defensive guys, even if they don't turn out to be big time studs, they'll be great rotational players and add depth and they'll
Ensure you
build
have
that
the depth defensively because Phillip Rivers, much like the Drew Breeses, the Tom Brady's, and the Ben Roethlisbergers, always find somebody to throw the football to.
You still got Keenan.
Thompson. Anyway, speaking of Keenan Thompson, let's get on to the Detroit Lions. Rawr. Thank you.
Do I have that?
Yep. Me too.
Me and Kendall are just kind of looking at each other. The Lions, I think, again, had a good start to the draft and then kind of petered out. I think Hawkinson was a great pick for them. I mean, we saw the Eric Ebron experiment there. It didn't exactly work out.
Worked out in Indy though.
But that's not like in Detroit, it didn't. But I still think Stafford needs another big man target to throw to. The defense needed help, especially in that division. I mean, the Bears, the Vikings, and the Packers all have good offenses, and they addressed that early. They drafted a second tight end.
In the 7th round. Though.
But even still, like, I hate saying it because it just doesn't make sense.
You're taking special teams players at that point.
But overall, I give them a B grade, B minus. You know, they address needs to play teams specifically within their division, I think, which should help them. I mean, there's 3 other good teams in that division.
C. They took one of the biggest reaches in the draft with Jelani Tavai in the 2nd round.
You know what? I disagree with everybody about that kid.
You think Jelani Tavai was
He is a
worth it?
Samoan. And I'm going to tell you something about Samoans.
He's The Rock's cousin.
They play with aggression. And we will all find out this year that kid's going to be good.
You think he was worthy of being the 3rd linebacker taken?
You'll find out, my boy.
I just love that Kyle's passionate about
The other side of that, he looks like a lion. That's what
Nah.
Kyle wants to say.
He looks like a charger. But let's get over it. Hey.
He's right. He's right, though. You know.
Texans.
I am the Texans.
Hey, buddy.
Hello, everyone.
Figure
How was your draft?
Houston.
Our draft was kind of so. I give us a C minus.
Lower.
See, well,
You should go a lot lower.
because I'm a homer, I can't give myself lower than a C minus.
You can't give yourself the D.
Nope, can't do it. Can't do it. Much as I might want to. They went ahead. They picked Titus Howard right after the Andre Dillard selection from Philadelphia. They later went and selected another offensive lineman in Max Sharping in the 2nd round. So they did draft offensive lineman, which is a need. However, it seemed like they were kind of just drafting, feeling sorry for themselves. They ended up drafting a couple defensive backs. One being Lonnie Johnson. I don't know much about him, but they drafted him late in the 2nd round.
He's pretty good.
And they also drafted a defensive lineman, Charles Ominumi, which is a favorite of Romeo Cornell.
Is he a Penn State guy?
Your guess is as good as mine.
No, he was from
But-
Texas.
The reason I give them a C minus and having a poor draft, is running backs. They're kind of in need of some sort of running back. I
Well, they get Deontay Freeman back, so we'll see how he does.
I think they've always kind of had problems in the running back position. Get a running back.
Speaking of shitty teams,
Kyle, who was that?
Oakland.
No, like Dante Freeman, right?
I really thought he said Devonta.
No, I
You-
said
you did,
Deontay.
but isn't it Foreman?
I heard a couple
Rock.
names. I thought it was,
No.
I'm just asking. Kyle. I'm not.
Speaking of shitty
ahead.
teams,
Put it in.
Oakland.
Kyle, cut it out.
Put it in.
Speaking of shitty teams, Oakland.
A+, moving on.
What?
It's a mess.
Who are you talking about?
Oakland Raiders.
The Oakland Raiders kind of started the what did you just do in the draft?
And
Their
the Giants were like, I see what you're doing.
Giants were like, just wait a minute, guys. No, I
And
mean,
then the Raiders like kind of did it with all 3 of their picks. So like the Giants were like, let's trade back in and let's match it.
well, no, I mean,
Nah, I'm just fucking with you.
the first pick, the 4th overall pick with Clellan Ferrell, I didn't get it. I mean, it's a guy. If they wanted to take him, that's fine, but they could have traded out of that pick and
Well,
They could have traded with the Giants, or the Giants should have drafted their Drew Jones at 4.
at 4.
like we can get a Power Ranger out of this.
But it's just it was a weird pick for me. There was a lot of other.
Sorry, not to interrupt, but what do you think Giants fans would have done if they traded with the Cardinals both picks to get to the number 1 spot to draft Jones?
That would have sucked. That would have made the pick
They
real
would have
bad.
burned down New York.
But like I said, the clone. I don't know. Like they could have used one of their later picks to get him. Other than that, though, the Raiders had a big need at running back. They used the 1st round to get one, and defensively, they went pretty much all defense in this draft.
Yeah.
I give them a B plus. I think the Raiders are starting to look to be on the upswing.
I give them an A minus.
A plus, tied for my favorite draft in the entire time.
B plus.
Yeah, I don't know what he said either.
A
Paul.
plus.
Minus because
Cleveland.
their pick, like it was kind of like a why would you pick him when X, Y, and Z are still on the board? Still going to be a very impactful player though.
Yeah,
Like it's not like they reached. It's not like they reached for a guy they could have gotten at 26.
We could have got him at 24.
No, I don't think they would have. He would have been gone.
Nah, you would have
He'd have been
25.
gone. He'd have been gone.
I
Yeah,
agree.
you would have got picked between. Got it.
He would
You
have been
remember that?
gone. Anyway, but I'm just saying, like, they still got impactful players and they still drafted to the needs that they had, and it's just on paper, I think they did a good job addressing their needs with players that have proven to be impactful in their college careers. It's just a matter of did they pick players that can make the jump to the NFL level, which is what Gruden's Achilles heel has always been.
And that's why he has Mayock picking for
so
him.
he's not drafting.
I'd like to hear what the Seahawks feel about their draft.
I'd give ourselves a B plus. I say that because the Seahawks, we draft however we want because we're just going to find players from Town Fair Tires and Starbucks, and there'll be special teamers and
Wide receivers.
with wide receivers in mind. DK Metcalf fell to number 64. Not fell, but he was lower than what I would have anticipated.
So that's falling, Kyle.
Nice yawn talk.
Kyle.
Am I
Hey,
wrong?
Schneider, can I ask you why you waited until the fourth round again to adjust your offensive line?
Because it doesn't matter. We drafted another wide
You
receiver.
can't draft 5 of them. Might as well just wait.
Drafted another receiver in Gary Jennings, which could be a compliment to
Greg Jen.
I mean,
our
it makes
Doug Baldwins
sense.
of the world.
Makes sense because of the Baldwin rumors.
Oh, him retiring.
Forced to retire.
Legion Boom is done. We all know it. A lot of defensive needs. They're trying to build that back up. So it's not all on Russell Wilson. Drafted LJ Collier in the first round. Also selected Marquise Blair, which is an aid to the secondary. So I think they're trying to build up that defense again to kind of give a backbone to that Seahawks defense. I give them a B plus.
C minus.
I think the Seahawks had a great draft. I mean, this is a team that historically does not address the offensive line. Russell Wilson just kind of runs around and gets around it.
For the kind of
Well,
team that they're trying to
hold on.
transition into
I
being
wouldn't
behind.
say historically doesn't address. I just think as of late there hasn't been.
But I mean, like
Hasselbeck
Pete
never had a
Carroll.
problem.
But like Pete Carroll doesn't address it.
But that's a problem on Brian Schottenheimer offense, which is a run first offense.
I mean, their offense ran the ball pretty well last season behind a bad offensive line.
Chris Carson ran pretty well. Everyone else.
They all did. They all had good games. I give the Seahawks an A.
C minus.
A minus. What are we giving the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Hello.
Oh, hey. Hey, Snuff.
So
Souls.
Tampa Bay had one of my favorite picks of the draft, Devin White.
Yep.
You
You
know
know it. I know it. We all know it.
All right, so they picked Devin White, and they went in the second round with defensive back. Second and third round, they went defensive back, and they picked a safety. You know what? I love it. They went all defense and what they needed to do. Their offense is okay for now. They have Bruce Arians. They're going to figure it out. Their defense is in desperate need. They went after all defense, and they got a kicker in this fifth round, which is always a need for them.
So
I give them an A+. All around, Tampa Bay figured out what they need to do. Well, mostly because it's Bruce, but good for them.
B minus.
Good night, Eric.
B minus.
Yeah, you're wrong. Wait till all these guys provide stuff.
Wait till they all provide stuff. Like
Wait till they all
wage
provide.
increases. Anybody else have any grades to give? I give them an A. Mostly because they have a canonship. All right. I would like to hear what the New England Patriots had to do. What would you grade the New England Patriots over there?
A+.
Ooh.
100%.
A++, actually.
Impossible.
Patriots are
So you're
tied.
giving them the Belichick.
Yeah, I'm giving them the best grade of that whole entire draft.
Patriots are tied for the best
So-
grade of this entire draft.
Haha, fuck you, Kendall.
I lied. I give him an A- for one reason.
Still fuck you, Kendall.
Why
All right.
me? I don't care.
So
All these players are going to be good.
Nikhil
Congratulations, guys! You guys are winning the Super Bowl this year.
Nikhil Harry is a pick to void Josh Gordon's role, to deep throw with physicality. He's going to help big there. Then they picked him to back. You can never go wrong there. I don't think it was the right choice, but I think New England, they're just weird. They pick guys that
You
just
don't question Belichick when it comes to secondary players.
My favorite pick of the draft was Chase Winovich, who fell
Yes.
to them to replace Trey Flowers. They needed desperately to replace Trey Flowers, and I think they just did. Damon Harris was kind of a head scratcher, but they'll find a way to put him in.
It's a running back on the Patriots. He's going to the Pro Bowl this year.
Then they picked a bunch of guards, and they picked Jarrett Stidham, quarterback out of Auburn. He'll be a Hall of Famer in 15 years.
The one thing,
4 years.
the one thing
he'll
I'm
be a
very
Hall of Famer in. All right, let me paint a picture for you. Tom Brady dethrones the Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC Championship game.
Again.
Finally gets the win against the New York Giants
Ugh.
in the Super Bowl. It's
Ugh.
the year 2027.
Wow.
Tom Brady has just won his 12th Super Bowl. Out of the shadows. Leads them to 14 more Super Bowls. Belichick's still the head coach.
Imagine
How
that,
old
like
would he be at that point?
97.
Kraft has passed away and since given the team to Coughlin
Oh, God.
and Tomlin.
All right, moving along.
No, hold on. The one thing I'm upset that he didn't mention is Yannick just getting drafted. Kid was a surefire round 1 pick before he got injured before the draft process. Fell to them in the 3rd round, at the end of the 3rd round. That kid will be their right tackle for the next 10 years.
What do we have to say about the New York Giants?
Hmm.
Is that Kyle?
No,
Who's that?
I do.
Okay.
New York Giants. We're going to go ahead and laugh at the Daniel Jones pick. We're going to go ahead and laugh at the Dexter Lawrence pick.
No, that's a great pick.
No.
It was.
It's not.
It was a good pick.
Who was the defensive tackle you guys? It wasn't BJ Raji. I know I keep wanting to say that, but it's not.
They
That
just
we
go with it.
traded?
No, you guys drafted him last year.
BJ Hill?
Yeah, BJ Hill. BJ Hill played very well down the stretch. You did not need another nose tackle, especially when you had so many more needs down the
Except like
stretch.
the Dexter Lawrence can swap out of nose tackle. And they need pass rushing bad.
He will not be the pass rusher that's going to win them games.
They don't need pass rushers to win them games. They need a pass rush. They don't need a Khalil Mack. They need a whole Bears defensive line.
I hated that they
Khalil
traded
Mack
up
would be
into
cool.
the end of the first round.
But I'm saying, like,
I know what you're
but
saying.
Khalil Mack wouldn't win them games.
I hated the fact that they traded up into the bottom of the first round to draft DeAndre Baker as the first cornerback. I thought that was hysterical considering he wasn't even the 5th overall corner. I do love that they took Julian Love in the 4th round. That kind of brings it back in a little bit. Lashin Zimenez out of Old Dominion. I like that pick. That's going to be a better pass rush than Dexter Lawrence will provide. I don't think that his draft or Edelman's draft after the 4th round was horrible. I just think that he didn't know how to draft in the first 3 rounds.
So what'd you give him?
I gave him a D.
A D?
Yeah.
Oh man, I give the Giants a B plus.
I got him in the B range. I mean, I know we talked earlier. I wasn't crazy about Daniel Jones at 6, but I think Dexter Lawrence will be a great player.
Here's the thing. I don't give a shit what pick they used to get a quarterback. They just finally picked one.
No, I know. But that's what I mean. Like,
But they picked one 2 years ago in Davis Webb, and now everybody hates him.
They picked somebody that can actually
Here's the
start
thing.
games and know
here's the
what's
thing.
going on.
Webb was picked in the 3rd round.
People thought that was Joe Webb.
And I mentioned Davis Webb must have looked awful in practice. He must have had the worst practices like
Didn't he also
ever.
get off-field problems too?
Not Davis Webb. That was the guy we drafted last year in Kyle Lauletta.
Oh,
Who
Loletta,
was
that's
like
right.
driving to practice and then like got into a fight with the cops. Like it was so
I just
weird.
want to drink my beer. Leave
Like,
me alone.
well, they said like he was driving the wrong way down a one-way road and then like tried to say he was a New York Giant. Like,
Well, he
But-
was.
I know, But really, I mean, the
I hate
Giants.
the
to
Daniel
me-
Jones pick. I really don't think he's ever going to turn into anything more than a career backup.
Oh, hey, I mean, we'll
Sure,
we'll
Goff
see.
said.
That's a pretty darn good backup.
We'll see. But I think the Dexter Lawrence pick was really good. DeAndre Bay, I mean, same thing. They traded up. I thought they traded up to get a corner that they could have gotten at 37. But
Easily.
hey, I mean, it's a guy that the team wanted. They went up and got him. I think he fits the Giants better than like Greedy Williams would have.
Better than Byron Jones?
Murphy, take a shot, Mass.
You're right.
I want to get a button whenever Mass is like something like the contrary, and it's you hit the button straight from the Mass's mouth.
How'd the Pittsburgh Steelers do?
Steelers got to be.
Fuck you. So wrong.
I mean, he just gave the guy sitting to the left of your team a D. So
I know what he said, but I think he's wrong.
I like that they identified their linebacker of the future in Devin Bush. I like that they were aggressive to go up and trade up for him. The Deontay Johnson pick.
how many games will he get? All right, so how many games will he get to sack? Devin Bush. Or an interception.
10.
An interception or a sack?
Game one.
Game one?
Yeah.
All right, how many games after that do you think until they start going,
Bush. That play.
They don't really do that for defensive players.
But they will. Because Heath Miller retired, and they're itching to do it.
and Victor Cruz also is retired, so like the league
Yeah.
doesn't have anybody doing it right now.
They're itching for it. Shepard.
I don't like that it took them giving up their second round to get Bush, but
They gave away nothing to get him.
they traded up.
They didn't have to go
Spots.
next year's first.
They traded up
and that's all I
10
care about.
spots. They traded from
I understand what you're
they
saying.
traded from potential not starting first round talent to top 10 play.
I
And all
understand.
they gave up was a second and a fifth.
No, they swapped second and a third next year, which is okay.
So you
Could
picked
have-
later in the second and you gave away next year's third.
They didn't pick in the second.
Yeah,
No.
that's what I'm saying.
No. All right.
Well, you said you swapped second.
Yeah.
That's no, we swapped first.
They swapped first and gave away their second, and was it
Next year's third, which is fine.
Oh yeah, I think the Steelers fleeced them on the trade. I mean, to jump up to get the guy they wanted, I think they made out like bandits with that trade.
They got the guy they wanted badly. And they
If
got
this was any other team other than the Steelers, I would question the shit out of the Deontay Johnson pick. But this is the Steelers. You don't question their wide receiver picks. Justin Lane,
I
cornerback.
feel more comfortable about him if he went in the sixth round.
Justin Lane out of Michigan State. For where you got him, yes. Barry Snell, I don't think he's
Benny
gonna,
Snell. Get it right.
I don't think he's going to do anything other than come in and spell Connor. But for the fourth round, what more can you ask for? Gentry isn't going to do anything to replace Jesse James.
Not this year.
All right, how are we doing? We're running out of time.
Okay.
What'd you give him?
B.
Souls?
I give the Steelers an A-.
I'm in the A range as well. I think they had a great draft.
A-.
You're such a biased bitch.
I like the Benny Snell.
I think Souls did a good
Power back.
job fairly
Good
analyzing this team, and you just come in with this A- bullshit.
I'm very satisfied
Give him
with
an
the
A+.
picks.
A+ because of Souls.
Also, what I'm reading here, they view Zach Gentry as kind of like the next version of Jesse James.
What did I just
I
fucking
give him an A+
say?
because they finally gave us a reason to forget about Shazier. It's not a shit shot. I'm not doing that at all. It's just I'm tired of hearing about it.
I know.
I'm
Move
just
on.
tired. He's not playing
I
football.
don't disagree. I
just like the inspirational things are cool, but I'm tired of seeing him coming out and make picks, coming out and doing coin tosses. It's like just let it go. Like the Bears didn't do that shit with Zach Miller. Zach Miller, like I'm never playing again. He said at the press conference, the Bears are nice enough to keep me on as a mentor. He played he sat there for his year and coached, and then retired.
I think it would be different too. Like if Shazier was like an all-time like great Steeler, then I'd be,
He would have been.
He would have been, but he's not.
But again, he would have been maybe.
It's like Palomalu.
He was very good. I'm not saying he's not good.
Palomalu could have been a great Steeler, but
Really,
instead,
like
he's up there with the Chris Contes and major rights.
Shazier was a very up and coming player. I'm not saying he wasn't good or that he wouldn't have been great, but we don't know. Like he was only in for a couple years.
Sorry.
It is what it is. I agree. Like, I wish him the best, but I'm ready to not hear about it anymore.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Hey, I said I'm
If
sorry.
you meant that, you should be beheaded.
Deheaded.
There you go. Drafts, grades, we did it. Great job, gents. Good job, boys. All right.
Did I do all my NFC South picks?
Yeah, you did. New Orleans, Carolina, Atlanta, Tampa Bay.
You did.
You did. We are way behind on schedule, so we're gonna. I think we're gonna cut out Riddler's rankings.
Okay.
We got
Riddler, can you lift
45
your mic
minutes
a little
left.
bit? We're losing you.
What?
Your mic. We're
What's
losing
wrong
you
with
a
it right
little
here?
bit. Well, then keep it right here. Dance it around a little bit. I'm losing you.
This seems like stuff we shouldn't be talking about on air. You should be texting me these things. Bad producing. D-.
Headphones key.
Well, so let's kind of like just real quick. We'll do a little bit of NHL talk. I thought for sure somebody was going to. We didn't grade the Bears, so
I was gonna say I thought I didn't do all my teams.
I skipped the Bears because I don't want to hear their grade, but I have my own grade in my head. But Maxine,
Well, I had the Bears. I overall gave them like a B plus A grade. David Montgomery is going to be
is
there.
that a Canadian B plus or like a B plus A minus?
Listen.
What does that even mean?
David
Well, he said
Montgomery.
B plus A.
David Montgomery is going to be the starting running back for the Bears. Not this upcoming year, the year after.
I love that pick.
The trend is over, Mark. It's not the same thing.
It's been going on for years.
but it's what do you mean years? It's been going on for 2 years.
No, it happened when
this was
Forte
one of
was
my
still there.
This was one of my
No.
favorite picks of the
Yes,
draft.
because there was Langford, and Langford looked like the next great thing.
But they started playing Langford more because they had no intentions of re-signing Forte. Then
But-
Langford kind of started like they played Langford and then they played Howard split backs and Howard went better. Howard was all the touches last 2 years ago. Howard still rushed for over 1,000 yards with Cohen on the team.
Yeah.
It was only this year because Nagy didn't want Howard.
So,
Telling you
what
what.
did you think about the
Montgomery.
Montgomery pick?
I think Nagy's a fucking idiot. But
I disagree with
Montgomery's
that.
a good pick. I just think Howard's going to be the better overall player.
I don't know. I think Montgomery's going to fit better in that system.
I think the pick Riley Ridley was a good pick for them.
It was a steal pick. I think they got him. I think they got a steal.
But like we knew the Bears, they didn't have early round picks, but I
Made
think
the
they made the
best.
best of what they had. I give them that B plus A minus range.
Did they draft a kicker?
No.
No. They signed. Did they sign 1 or 2 from the AAF?
They have 5 altogether right now. They're starting on the,
You should just sign Nick Novak.
So here's the thing. I give them an A plus if you really break down how it went. They drafted Khalil Mack in the first round, and then Anthony Miller in the second round, and then everybody else. And on top of it, they picked up what's his name? Something Hall from I can't remember. It was a wide receiver that was supposed to be like a 5th round talent that nobody drafted, and they got him. He's supposed to be like a big thing. And they also got Wims, Ridley's teammate from Georgia. I think the Bears had a great. I think Anthony. I think Ryan Pace is one of the best drafters in the league right now, my opinion. Except for the Trubisky. Anyway, so NHL playoffs breakdown of round 1. Kyle, Penguins. Care to break down that series a little bit?
Yeah, I gotcha. So, Pittsburgh Penguins got smoked.
Bye.
The Icelanders. It was 4-0. Outplayed. Crosby sucked dick. Malkin did nothing. Connor McDavid was pretty good. They outplayed him. Penguins, who were supposed to win the series, underperformed.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of like the theme, and for the top teams, you know. I mean, Nashville looked bad. Tampa Bay looked terrible. Washington put up a good fight against the Hurricanes. Hurricanes just lived in the offensive zone during all the overtime periods in that game, or in that series. Not just that game 7, but the whole series. I mean, the Hurricanes have shown that they're not just a fluke team. That, you know, that they squeaked into that second wild card spot. They They came to play. And they played hard. I wouldn't be surprised to have them going far in these playoffs. The Bruins are one of those teams that whether they win the whole thing or lose this round, it's going to be 6 games every time. The Bruins are not like a sweep team, and they're not a get swept team. The East is poising up to be very great. I love the Columbus, Boston. It's like skill and showmanship, or like skill and like pizzazz versus showmanship, like our sportsmanship and aggression. Like the Bruins are just that team that like they just play so physical and aggressive, but they just have so much sportsmanship about it, other than Martian. And then the Blue Jackets are just like that team that can just light up the scoreboard. It's gonna be very interesting. San Jose is gonna be interesting. I think they're playing Vegas, right?
San Jose did play Vegas.
Yeah.
Yes.
What are the series at right now? I know Canes are up 2-0 on the Islanders. Pretty sure Columbus and Bruins are tied 1 apiece.
One apiece. Both games overtime.
Yeah. Blue Jackets have played a lot of overtime.
Oh shit!
In the second game, double
Actually,
overtime.
the Capitals Hurricanes game was the second longest game or third longest game 7 in NHL history.
Really?
Man, I think they scored with like 8 minutes left in the second overtime period. I think the Blackhawks Predators have one of the longest games in Stanley Cup history. They almost went 3 overtime. I think they did go into 3 overtimes.
So, Baron, what are the 2 games that are on overtime right now?
No. The Columbus Blue Jackets and the Bruins have both had their games go to overtime.
Oh.
That's tied 1 apiece. I know the Canes are up 2-0.
Yep.
I think Avalanche and Sharks. I think the Avalanche have a 1-0 lead on the Sharks.
They're tied 1-1 now.
Tied 1-1, and Dallas and St. Louis has 1-1 too.
Yep.
Actually, I was watching the replay of the Avalanche Sharks game today, and Sharks went empty net with like 2 minutes left, and they ended up scoring. But 10 seconds left, they won the face off, but they just couldn't get it done. I was rooting for them. It was exciting.
I mean, these are all teams that are like they're like underdog teams, all of them really, coming into this Stanley Cup. I mean, I'm looking at it. The one team, I think out of all these teams, the one team that you could really say like they should have gotten it done is San Jose. San Jose, in my opinion, San Jose on paper had the best roster going into the whole season. They had a video game roster between Carlson, Thornton, Pavelski, Burns. Like their team, it's a video game lineup. It's what you make in a fantasy draft.
Doesn't hurt that Vegas fell apart during the power play in the last 10 minutes of Game 7.
Yeah, no. And then the fucking call the 5-minute penalty. That was interesting. I don't know if any of you guys saw it. Any of you guys see that?
I read it, but I didn't get a chance to see.
And for anybody who's, and probably most of our listeners, Game 7, San Jose versus Vegas. There was a face-off and there was a tie-up. Vegas center cross-checked into Pavelski or into Thornton, who got pushed backwards, and then another player came in and kind of like pushed him up, but like tangled his stick into his arms, causing him to kind of do a front flip and land on his head, lacerating his head open and bleeding out on the ice pretty much. Vegas was then given a 5-minute major penalty, which for those of you who don't know, a 5-minute major penalty is you play a man down. The 5-minute major means you're ejected from the game, and then your team plays a man down for 5 minutes no matter how many goals are scored. When that happened, Vegas was up 4-1. San Jose won 5-4. They scored 4 goals in that 5-minute period.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of controversy. The NHL officiating crew probably put out an apology to the Vegas Knights. There's a lot of should this have been a major penalty.
Do you think it should have?
I'm really honestly torn about it because the first guy came in and cross-checked 2 minutes. That's 2 minutes right there. But the second guy came in while Thornton was being hit with the intention of hitting him harder. And he kind of misjudged the hit, but he ended up causing Thornton to tumble, and he landed on his head, and there was blood dripping out of his helmet. Like, I don't know. It's tough because in slow mo it looks malice. Is that the right word?
Yeah, like malicious.
Malicious. Yeah, it looks malicious. But in real time, it just looks like a oops. Like he's not like the second guy's not coming. He's
Like
like
a
coming
bang,
in
bang
full
play?
speed to fucking like no, not bang bang. That's the shit. It's slow. The second guy doesn't come in within like doesn't look like he's coming in with intent to hurt. He's coming in to hit him, but it doesn't look like he's coming in to like be like, oh fuck you, man. Like like it's tough. I don't know. It is what it is. It can't be changed. I think San Jose was the better team anyway. So just nature's way of finding ways to win. I was very surprised to see the Islanders sweep the Penguins. Very, very surprised. I was very surprised to see the Islanders win the series, to be honest with you. Not because the Penguins are better than them, just because the Islanders
Are the Islanders?
Choke
they do.
City.
Quick thing: Sixers just tied the series 1-1. 90-49 victory.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
90-49.
No, 94-89.
I heard him say 90-49.
I did too, but I saw the score before, so I was like,
holy shit. They won by so much. So far, I mean, we're shaping up to see a lot of things. Hurricanes Capitals was a great series. I was also a big fan of the Blues and the Jets. Believe it or not, I've actually watched every game so far of the Stanley Cup playoffs. I haven't watched them all live, but I've watched them. I've turned off the notifications to my phone, so I don't get them.
Blues and Stars are playing right now.
Yeah, it's being recorded. Don't tell me the score.
Oh, you don't know.
You can tell me the score as long as it's not the third period.
it's 17-13.
I believe that.
They went for 2 and didn't get it.
Damn. But I think the Bruins Maple Leafs was the steal series for fans. It was so intense. I believe it went 7. It was just such a good series. It was that typical battle of like you see in sports times where it was like the old man led team with the promise, like with the youth they're breeding, and the Bruins. The Bruins Maple Leafs was essentially like watching Patriots Chiefs. That's really what it was. It was you have the Bergeron, Tom Brady, and then you have like the Marchand, who was kind of like the Gronk, and then all the young guys, which are like all those people that like nobody's gonna remember were Patriots in 3 years, And then the Maple Leafs were just like, look at all our shiny new toys that we have. Tavares and Matthews and Mahomes and Hill and Kelsey. It's like, look at all our shiny toys. We're young and we're ready to go. And the Bruins just were like, we'll show you how it's done. And we'll keep doing it. Yeah. So I just think it was I'm a big fan, especially in hockey, of that old versus new. I don't know if you guys saw, I think it was like a week ago or whatever. Jaromir Jagr is like 52 years old now.
Yeah.
He scored like 4 goals in a game.
Owns that team.
Yeah.
I saw something interesting today. I can't remember who his name was now, but
Just Leo Pebblechek.
Oldest goalie to have a win in the playoffs, 35 years old.
What team?
I thought it was
Cam Talbot?
I thought it was Columbus.
Bobrovsky? No. Who's the backup? I don't even know who Bobrovsky's backup is.
Yeah, but he was 35. I thought he ranked like number 2.
Wow.
Keyshawn Johnson.
That's it.
Made his NHL debut.
Boston Bruins goalie Tim Thomas. Is that right? No, it's not. Never mind. That's
I
from
say he is
2012.
not on the Bruins anymore.
Yeah,
He was pretty good back in the day, though.
for the Bulls. And the Knicks.
But anyway, he's 35 years old, first playoff win. I thought that was cool. I thought it was Columbus, but
Just look up the box scores from the games. But yeah, it's exciting. Predictions wise, I think the Canes hold on to beat the Islanders 5-1 or 4-1. I think that the Bruins ended up getting edged by the Blue Jackets in 7. I think Dallas has what it takes to beat out St. Louis in 6. And I think that the Avalanche lose to the Sharks in 6.
Has Dallas ever won?
Not as Dallas.
But up when they were in Minnesota?
Yeah, I believe they won one.
When they were Mike Madonna.
Mike Madonna played in Dallas as well.
It was also North Star.
He was also a star.
Minnesota.
He's also a Dallas South Star.
We're gonna have some serious talks after this show.
Dallas South Star.
That's what they were known as.
Really? I didn't know that.
Was it Flurry?
No.
He's a Vegas Knight, bruh.
It was just some white guy. It
But yeah,
doesn't matter.
and then, I mean, just for shits and giggles, it would be fun if no one's writing it down, so it doesn't really matter anyway. So I'm just thinking. Sorry, I'm thinking, you guys can talk too. I've been doing a lot of this NHL talking that you guys aren't helping.
Columbus.
I think the Stanley Cup final comes down to Carolina Hurricanes versus the Avalanche.
You heard it here first.
That's what I said.
Kidding, Kyle. I just wanted to make you happy.
You should do it. Actually,
No.
I said Columbus.
Hurricane Stars.
Anyone can go fast.
Hurricane Stars.
Yeah, Columbus.
I
Avalanche.
would like to see the Hurricanes win it just to see what they do after if they win it at a home game.
They just
Because they're the team
cry.
that does those celebrations, those fun celebrations after every home win.
Mhm.
You got to do something. I'm assuming you just shoot somebody. But, yeah.
Hurricane Stars.
Anybody
Go
care to make any predictions
Whalers.
at all? Anybody care to chime in out about anything
I'd like to make a couple predictions.
about hockey?
Yes, I have the Bruins holding on. I think they win out the rest of their games just by the points you made earlier. It's just a veteran team, been there before. They seem to get it done during crunch time. I have the Hurricanes holding on as well. They will complete the sweep. I have the Blues winning. That series will go 7, and I have the Sharks going on to win in 6.
Carolina, San Jose. Carolina wins. 7.
Go Whalers.
The Hurricanes have already won one since moving.
I know.
I already said mine. Columbus Avalanche. Avalanche in 6.
Sharks and Bruins in 5.
Ooh, when you find a 10 in your bag. Only 2 in here, Kyle. You want to do 1 and 1?
Is there really only 2 in there, or we haven't looked?
2 and 2.
You guys should make out. I'll join in after.
You want to swap them back and forth every 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Remember that time I did pooches in your mouth outside of the woodworking shop?
I won't throw up.
Mock laughed very hard.
So funny.
I'm sorry, what?
Another
Yeah,
story.
we can tell this story off there.
But if you heard
Why
what he
did
said,
you
you
start
basically
it on
heard it
air?
all.
But it's so funny.
Anybody else have any predictions?
I think we all went.
Well,
Sure.
Riddler, are you going to? It looks like you're going to make us a bracket.
Yeah, I got to do it right now, real quick.
So-
I forgot to write them down.
Well, that's okay, because we can talk about other stuff.
What do you got, Reed?
What do we got?
Kenny Sunkissed.
Ooh, I thought we did away with that. Actually, it's funny. The name is somewhat grown on me as time goes on, but I'm
What's the nickname?
Kenny Sunkissed.
Kenny
Oh.
Sunkist, yeah.
I'm too attached to the name Red Baron though, because for the plane noises. Because whatever the sun is, go psh, like that's stupid.
Well,
Like the sound of
then
soda
If
opening.
you open up a soda, it kind of does that too.
No, someone say his name. Say the name.
Kenny Sunkist.
Fuck you, Fanta. Same thing.
Go
Not a
right-
sponsor.
Just go right at him.
Look, think about it. You're orange. Just like Sunkist.
If you look at the camera, I do look like a carrot a little bit. But it's really because
Carrot
of
S.
Loompa, loompa,
And you love
doompa,
celery.
the
doo.
face. I don't what?
So.
What does that have to do with anything about being orange? Anyway, enough with the nonsense. Enough with the nonsense.
You're a vegetable kid.
What do you got for us, Ken?
I figured we would talk for a second. We addressed the draft in the previous hour and
Yeah.
dance in this one. But of the first rounders, I was curious what you guys would figure who's going to make the immediate impact with the exclusion of Kyler Murray.
He's probably not going to make that big of an impact.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is who's get like in their.
How many wins
in
did
their-
they have last year? Cardinals. 3?
3?
2?
3.
They're going to win 5 to 6 games this year.
in their playing time? The quarterback perhaps arguably could have the biggest impact on your team in how the result of the game goes.
Either Devin White or Devin Bush.
Devin Bush.
One of the two of them.
So as you seem to concur.
Yeah, they're gonna play a lot of
Devin White has the maturity to be a leader now, and he's going to be the leader of that Tampa Bay team. Devin Bush is going to come in and get a lot of playing time because he's got a high IQ and a big motor, and that's what the Pittsburgh Steelers like.
I think Josh Allen's going to turn a lot of heads this year. I think he's going to be very good.
Not to be confused with the Buffalo Bill, Josh Allen.
No.
No,
Funny
he's the
though,
same guy.
if he fell to the Buffalo Bills,
I had him going in my draft. For the Bills.
I think they were already project. I think it's next season the Lions play the Bills. Josh Allen can sack Josh Allen.
well, you're wrong. Just that's be a shot.
Why?
Because the other Josh Allen is a Jaguar, and you said he was a Lion. So
Did he go to the Jaguars?
Yes,
Yeah.
he did.
Wait,
Oh, he did.
wait till
Hawkinson went to
LeGarrette
the
Blunt
Lions.
it.
Hawkinson went
should-
to the Lions.
you should take a shot for that.
Man, I thought he went to the Lions.
Just take a shot.
But it is interesting that both Josh Allens
You
went
know
with
you
the seventh
deserve
pick.
it.
Yes.
So I thought that was cool. That's a good twist.
So
That's
the
what-
next thing we need to do is find out who the best Josh Allen is in 2020.
Yeah, there's got to be one. It's just going to be a
Go
thing
on
now.
with
Where's
Um,
Josh Allen going this year?
Number 7.
It might be another Josh.
That's a
Probably
fairly
Josh
common
Allen.
name.
My vote is for N'Keal Harry.
Right over there.
What's your reason?
He's on the Patriots, and he's the first round wide receiver Bill has ever picked.
All right, that's fair.
He's
Let's
going to hit
take it around the
1,000
horn.
yards this year.
Around the horn.
You focus on you. Talk.
So I'm curious. That's an interesting point that you brought up, and actually I didn't know that it's a first round wide receiver that Belichick has drafted as a Patriot or as a coach all the time.
Bracket break.
All the setup and
Tell
head
you
motion was worth it.
We just need a hand signal.
I should-
I didn't know what you were doing. I thought
This
you
is
were
all
trying to
this
get my
is.
attention.
I thought you wanted a shot.
That's what I thought too.
All right.
Bracket break.
Today's bracket break is the greatest MLB player of the 21st century. We're going based off of retired players and only their stats recorded from 2000 on towards their retirement.
And you said NBA?
MLB.
Oh, okay, good. The headphone like cut out as soon as he said it, so I was like,
I wanted to do in general, but because like I wanted to include the Verlander and Kershaw and Pujols into this and like Cabrera, but I really struggled where to put Trout because like he's got like 274 home runs, which is impressive, but like I don't know where he ranks statistically. This is kind of a production thing.
Yeah.
So production wise, where does he rank? Like, does he rank higher than certain of these players? It's hard. Is he going to be better than probably all of these guys? Yeah.
so I just to ask, you said it's post 2000, so is it just anything
There's
past
player-
2000 or
No, there's players in it that were drafted before 2000.
But you said it's going
It's
2000 after.
It's stats and accolades from 2000 on to the retirement.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So, Marshall, would you like to pick a quadrant?
We're gonna go upper right.
Upper right. All right. Ooh, funny that you did that one. I'm going to do a little bit of reverse here because I want Mock to suffer on the next one. All right. Number 2 seed. I actually wrote down the stats. We're going to go a little over tonight because I put work in on these stats. We have the number 2 seed, Vladimir Guerrero. I'm only reading these stats once in the first round each, so get over it. Vladimir Guerrero, right fielder, played from 2000 to 2011 2011 in this century. 1072 on the runs, 2092 hits, 357 home runs, 1215 RBIs, 153 stolen bases with a 318 batting average, 8-time All-Star, MVP, 7-time Silver Slugger. That's from 2000 to 2011 only.
Heard that, dude. I was like, he was an MVP 7 times.
No.
I got you.
And then versus the number 3 seed, Randy Johnson. From 2000 to 2009, he was 143 and 78 with a 3.34 ERA, with 12 shutouts pitched, 484 walks, 2,182 strikeouts, and a 1.114 WHIP. 4-time All-Star, 3-time Cy Young, a pitching triple crown, 2001 World Series MVP, and obviously with that, a World Series win. Gentlemen, vote.
As everyone votes, I made myself laugh real hard when you talk about Randy because I thought for sure, and I don't know why.
One bird killed.
No, I thought for sure you were going to say 143 pounds, and it made me laugh so hard. Just because he was so tall and lanky.
My pick is Randy Johnson.
That is also my pick, Randy Johnson.
Randy Johnson.
Randy Johnson.
Vlad, because he hit a home run from his knees a lot.
Adrian Beltre did that a few times.
He was just so dominant that you can't go against him.
All right. The number 1 seed, Derek Jeter,
Oh yeah, him.
shortstop from 2014. 1,437 runs, 2,658 hits, 197 home runs, 970 RBIs, 272 stolen bases with a 307 batting average, a 12-time All-Star, a 2000 World Series MVP, a 5-time Gold Glover, and 5-time Silver Slugger with 2 World Series rings. Versus the number 4 seed, Mariano Rivera. From 2000 to 2013, 56-47 record with a 2.05 ERA, 523 saves with 167 walks, 836 strikeouts with a .954 WHIP, 11-time All-Star, 3-time Reliever of the Year, 1-time Comeback Player of the Year.
Mariano Rivera.
Mariano Rivera.
I thought you were going, Kyle.
Your turn.
Derek Jeter will forever be my favorite player of all time, but Mariano is the greatest closing pitcher of all time. Mariano Rivera.
Mariano Rivera.
More
Would you like to vote
men
for
have
Blake
walked
Rivera?
on the moon than have scored on Mariano in the playoffs. That's a cool stat.
That's
is.
pretty cool.
He also walked up to a terrible song.
False.
It's a bad song.
No, it's a bad song, but the walk-up is dope.
Yeah, it's very dramatic.
No, the walk-up was good, but the song is terrible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All right.
Exactly what I just said.
Pick a quadrant. I can't understand you when you're drunk.
I'm not even that drunk.
Pick a quadrant.
Lower left.
All right. Number 1 seed, Roy Halladay. From 2000 to 2013, he posted a 194-98 record with a 3.36 ERA, 19 shutouts with 2,022 strikeouts, 511 walks with a 1.157 WHIP. He was an 8-time All-Star and a 2-time Cy Young Award winner. Versus the number 4 seed, Johan Santana from 2000 to 2012. What?
I never liked Johan. I'm sorry.
But he went 139 and 78 with a 3.2 ERA, 10 shutouts, 567 walks with 2,000 strikeouts, a 1.132 WHIP, 4-time All-Star, 2-time Cy Young, a pitching triple crown, and a Gold Glove as a pitcher.
Roy Halladay.
Roy Halladay.
Santana.
Santana.
Ooh.
You know who this is going to be?
I'm saying Roy Halladay.
Yeah, I put Kevin Nash.
Oh,
All right. The number 3 seed, Todd Helton from 2000 2013. He posted just under 1,200 runs, just over 2,100 hits with 304 home runs, a little under 1,200 RBIs, 27 stolen bases, and a 3.17 batting average, 5-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glover, and a 4-time Silver Slugger.
how many years did he play after the 2000?
2000 2013.
13 years. 27 stolen bases in 13 years.
He's the GOAT.
Versus the number 2 seed, Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds from 2000 to 2007 had 772 runs with 925 hits, 317 home runs with 697 RBIs, 54 stolen bases,
Oh my God.
.322 batting average, 6-time All-Star, 4-time MVP, and a 5-time Silver Slugger, as well as breaking the record for most home runs in a season.
Eternal cheater.
Whatever, still did it all. Yeah. So I'm gonna go Bonds.
Bonds.
I think Bonds is a better player, but Todd Helton's one of my favorite players of all time.
This is more impactful. Like this, come on. This is greatest player of.
I know,
21st century.
I know.
You can't vote for the scrubs you like.
No, but he was
Oh,
good.
Strubel Cabrera, where's he?
Well, he doesn't deserve to be, but Helton deserves to
He
be on
doesn't
the
deserve
list.
to be on the bottom of my boot.
Is he?
Helton.
Bonds.
Bonds all day.
Well, I'm just gonna Helton. He was not going to win, so I can vote for Helton.
I will say this though, Todd Helton started off his career as a pure power hitter, and then by like year 2008, all went down.
Number 1 seed, Alex Rodriguez. From 2016, 1,528 runs on 23-24 hits, 548 home runs with 1623 RBIs, 211 stolen bases with a 291 batting average. Was an 11-time All-Star, 3-time MVP, 2-time Gold Glover, 10-time Silver Slugger, and a 1-time World Series champion.
And to Jennifer Lopez.
Versus the number 4 seed, Andrew Jones. From 2000 to 2012, 947 runs, 1,500 hits, 350 home runs with 1032 RBIs, 78 stolen bases with a 253 batting average, 5-time All-Star, 8-time Gold Glover, 1-time Silver Slugger.
A-Rod.
A-Rod.
Andrew Jones, killer with the glove, way better than A-Rod with the glove. And Andrew Jones banged Scarlett Johansson, so better than Jennifer Lopez.
Andrew Jones, though, very underrated. I will say.
All right, so it's just A-Rod. Okay. Mass is fading on us. All right,
No.
number 2 seed, Manny Ramirez. From 2000 to 2011, 971 runs with 1642 on the hits, 357 home runs, just under 1150 on the RBIs, 11 stolen bases with a 315 batting average, 9-time All-Star, 2004 World Series MVP, 7-time Silver Slugger, 2-time World Series champion. Versus the number 3 seed, Pedro Martinez. From 2000 to 2009, 112 and 50 record with a 3.01 ERA, 6 shutouts, 350 walks, 1620 on the strikeouts, and a 1.036 whip. 4-time All-Star, 1-time Cy Young, 1-time World Series.
Pedro.
Pedro.
Manny.
I tell you, I hated Manny Ramirez so much. I hated him.
Anybody care to guess, besides Souls, who the last 1 seed is?
I don't remember.
I didn't tell you guys who it was.
Oh, I thought you were.
No. Do
I'm
you just
sorry.
care to take a guess who you think it might be?
I'm going to guess Ichiro.
It is. Kyle didn't guess it. Kyle guessed like 35 other people.
I would have thought it.
Number 2 seed, David Ortiz. From 2000 to 2016, 1361 runs, 2379 on the hits, 531 home runs, 1716 RBIs with a whopping 16 stolen bases, and a 287 batting average. Was a 10-time All-Star, 2013 World Series MVP, 7-time Silver Slugger, and a 3-time World Series champion. Versus the number 3 seed, Chipper Jones.
David
From
Ortiz.
2000 to from 2000 to 2012, 1077 on the runs, 1855 hits, 315 home runs, 1,200 what?
Are you saying 1,200 stolen bases?
Obviously, I'm fucking wrong, Mom.
I'm just asking.
1,200 stolen bases.
I mean, I can tell you I'm not voting for Triple Jones. I just won't do it.
I don't know what I wrote. Was right. 67 stolen bases, 304 batting average, 5-time All-Star, 1-time Silver Slugger, 45-time Met Killer of the Year.
Oh, it's
55
D Ortiz all day.
Chipper Jones.
Orders.
Chipper Jones. Mass?
Think about it. How many commercials have you seen with Dunkin' Donuts?
Chipper Jones.
You don't even know who he is.
I'm going to give
That's
it to
what
Ortiz.
really
I'm giving it
sticks
to
in my
Ortiz.
craw.
All right.
I only voted for Jones to make Mass be the decider.
Number 4 seed, Carlos Beltran from 2000 to 2017. 1,458 runs, 2,515 hits, 413 home runs with 1,472 RBIs, 282 on the stolen bases, and a 278 batting average. 9-time All-Star, 3-time Golden Glover, 2-time Silver Slugger, 1-time World Series champion. Versus the number 1 seed, Ichiro Suzuki. From 2001 to April of 2019, recorded 1,420 on the runs, 3,089 hits, 117 home runs, one of which we saw, 780 RBIs, 509 stolen bases with a 311 batting average, a 10-time All-Star, MVP, Rookie of the Year, 10-time Golden Glover, and 3-time Silver Slugger.
Ichiro.
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 Is there a question?
I just wrote Asian. All right, so Mariano Rivera versus Randy
Beltran.
Johnson.
Mo.
I'm
Can
sorry.
you say I couldn't hear you?
Mariano Rivera versus Randy Johnson.
Mo.
Randy.
Randy.
Mariano.
I think he's the greatest closer of all time, but I just think that Randy was more dominant.
Randy Johnson.
I said Mo.
Who'd you pick?
I said Randy. Like, it's just a difference between a starter and a closer. You
Yeah,
know?
let's
I'm not mad.
I know,
A-Rod
I'm just
versus
saying.
Pedro.
A-Rod.
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 Pedro.
Pedro.
I also hated Pedro a lot, so that one felt good.
Yeah, but you also kind of hate A-Rod. You're just obligated to like him.
I hated him.
Roy
like
Halladay
the last couple
versus
years.
Barry Bonds.
Barry
Oh.
Bonds.
Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds.
Holiday.
It doesn't matter.
Ichiro Suzuki versus David Ortiz.
David
Ichiro.
Ortiz.
Ichiro.
Ichiro.
Okay. Can I have one moment to explain why?
Sure.
David Ortiz meant more to that team because he was able to bring them to a World Series.
But it's the greatest
Three
player
times.
of the 21st century.
Yeah. And that makes you a greatest player.
Ichiro.
He had more walk-offs and the 07 season than anyone I've ever seen.
Ichiro is also extremely dominant on both sides of the ball. Ortiz is just a DH.
Makes him that much better.
No, what?
No.
How does it
I
make him that much better?
Ortiz was a liability in the field.
Yeah. Ichiro fell off after 2000,
Fell off when?
2010. After he left the Seattle Mariners, he fell off.
I don't know.
He was not that great as a Yankee.
It's 90 seconds.
He was
wasn't-
still good as a Yankee.
Not good as Ortiz was.
As a Yankee? Yeah, I think
No,
Ichiro's
like-
better.
You know what I'm saying?
I think Ortiz meant more to the Red Sox than Ichiro meant to any team he played on, but I think Ichiro's a better player. I mean,
Ichiro is way more impactful.
Ichiro amassed 3,000 hits coming in at the age of 27.
Okay.
Guy's gray hair.
Ortiz won championships.
He was also on better teams, Kyle.
Well, hold on. Listen.
Not his fault.
Wait. Listen.
I'm not saying it's his
I
fault,
think-
but I mean, come on. You're saying Ortiz won he was on better teams.
Yeah, Seattle didn't know how to fucking do their team.
Would Matt Stafford do better if you replaced
Again, so
if you
that
replaced
so
I don't know. Let's say you got rid of Andy Dalton and put Matt Stafford in there. Would the Bengals be better?
Yeah,
Sure.
100%.
Okay, so but that's what I'm saying. Take any member of the Red Sox
Well, even when
outfield
Ichiro went
out
to
of
the
the
Yankees,
equation and
he
put Ichiro in it.
They didn't win.
Who was the Red Sox outfield when they won their first World Series?
Manny, Ellsbury.
Okay, no, Ellsbury from 2004.
I'm not talking about 07.
we said the first one. I don't think Manny was there in 07.
It was like
Wait.
Manny, like Mike
I don't know.
Cameron.
He might have been suspended.
Mike Cameron was not there.
Well, so I'm just
He
saying.
might have been.
Okay, so regardless, take out anybody but Manny and put in Ichiro.
Johnny Damon,
Okay, don't take out Johnny Damon. He was important.
Manny Ramirez, Dave
And-
Roberts.
Who?
Dave Roberts.
Fuck him. Get him out of there.
What if it wasn't JD Drew. He wasn't out there.
He was
He was
out
in
there
one
too.
of them.
I know he was there for
All right,
07.
Randy Johnson versus Alex Rodriguez.
Randy.
Randy.
Randy. Barry Bonds versus Ichiro.
Bonds.
Ichiro.
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 If Barry Bonds didn't break the home run record, I don't think he would even be on this list, to be honest with you.
Good thing you wrote it up.
Hmm?
Good thing you wrote it up.
So what does that bring us down to?
Ichiro and Randy Johnson.
Johnson.
Ichiro.
Randy Johnson.
That's it.
He was a monster.
Bonds should have won.
Kylie cheated.
So did happen. Oh my god. I'm not getting into it. Not getting into it.
Tell you what, did either Yankee on that list? Oh, A-Rod was
Rocket
on there.
break.
Damn it. Forgot A-Rod was on there.
What do you want to
Should have
do?
went with it.
That was just
Just rattle off another bracket real quick.
Ridley, were there any honorable mentions or no?
There were.
Ooh, Carl Pavano.
And it's snotted.
He had a great 3 weeks as a Yankee. Made a ton of money.
Brett Gardner.
Honorable mentions included Kurt Schilling, Chase Utley, Lance Berkman, Adrian Beltre, Roy Oswalt, Bobby Abreu, and Mark Burley.
I like that. Kyle, your boy, Roy Oswalt.
I liked him.
I did too. Lance Berkman, probably the worst switch hitter of all time.
Nah, he was pretty good. Very good in the beginning of his career.
He should have just
Then he was
stayed righty.
Texas. And that's where it went downhill.
He was decent in that Yankees World Series run in 09.
Hey,
Yeah,
where
you
can
guys had
people
it.
listen to how terrible we are, Ma?
What's that?
How can people listen to how terrible we are?
Listen, find us on Facebook and Instagram at Getting Sports with Drunk. Twitter is GSWD_4.
You should use the hashtag GSWD for all your daily uses, whether you're peer pressured into roids or you are peer pressuring to use roids.
Subscribe on Podbean, iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Check us out pretty much anywhere podcasts are played. We are there. We are on the PPRN radio network every Monday night from 8 to 11. Check me and Kendall out tomorrow night on the Peter Pino Show from 7:30 to 10:30. Same time Wednesday. Download the PPRN app. I don't know where the numbers are at, but we're still creeping up on 1,000.
St. Louis Blues just took a 2-1 series lead.
I
Nice.
thought you disabled your alerts.
Until proven
I thought
guilty.
you disabled your alerts for the series.
It did.
If you're the 1,000th
I've watched most of them live.
download, we're gonna send you a gift basket.
It's gonna be Kyle.
It's going to have a bunch of mini muffins.
Coach is going to come for a
Reviews,
visit.
how was the Super Duper Double Citra? Was it Super Duper?
Yeah.
Was it Super Duper Kyle?
Super duper cop.
Are you gonna lean back with your arms crossed because I don't like Barry Bonds? Are you going to do this now?
No, it's not that you don't like him. It's that you deny the fact that he was one of the greatest players of our generation.
I didn't say that. He could have
You
been,
did,
but
you
then
did.
he
Time
juiced.
after time.
Time after time.
Thank you, Mass.
Kyle,
He's better than
hey,
half the players that we've ever seen.
I don't know. We can agree to disagree.
Just because he took steroids doesn't mean he can't hit the fucking baseball.
Kyle, that's not what I said.
There's
not what I
players
said.
that have not taken steroids that can't hit a baseball.
I'm not saying the contact numbers wouldn't have been there. The power numbers wouldn't have been.
Doesn't-
And we pulled up the stats on the show. And I remember we proved you
Yeah.
wrong.
He was young in Pittsburgh, and then he figured it out in San Fran.
About the time he started juicing.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Okay.
Prove me wrong.
How do you make your head bigger?
Getting fat.
No. His head doubled in size.
But we don't know. He
He also
had
gained
never
a
been
lot of
tested.
water weight.
He's never been tested positive for steroids. You showed me an article where they said he'd been tested positive, and
He
then I'll
probably
believe you.
test positive now.
Dude, they had the whole thing, and he was not charged. So
It's true.
Hey,
first
whatever.
of all, fuck Jose Canseco for throwing everybody
for
on
just being a general douchebag
He's the one that fucking took steroids.
and then ratted on everybody.
Fucking guy tore Tommy John by throwing one pitch. Ah,
Jose, we could probably do an hour segment on the stupid things Canseco has done.
fly ball off the dome over
When-
the fence.
When he scheduled the boxing match and then had his twin brother go fight for him. That guy's just a walking idiot.
Is that true though?
What's that?
Is he a walking idiot?
Yeah.
Is he your top 1,000 players of all time?
No. He fucking sucked.
Top 500,000?
Maybe.
I mean, it would be hard to say no, but I also don't know 500,000 players. So I guess by default he'd be in there.
He just got lucky. He played with Mark McGuire. And he probably gave McGuire the steroids.
Carla, are you all set on your beer review?
Yeah, I'm good. I've been done.
All right, I had the Citra Brow from Jack's Abbey.
Who was it?
It was okay. The IBUs are kind of low at 30, but I got it. It was very bitter, and like the more it opened up as it warmed up, it got super boozy. But I don't know. I didn't think it was bad, but it was okay. I gave it 2.5 stars. I would recommend it.
To me?
Yeah, I'd recommend it to you, Kyle. I know you would hate it, but I'd recommend it to you.
I'm gonna follow you up because I also had the Citra Brow. From
Yeah, I'm
Jack's
sure
Abbey.
you loved it.
Region, Massachusetts, $13 a pop, 5.5%. Amber in color, aromas of citrus and floral, citrusy flavor. Oddly heavy for some reason.
That's what I mean. Like, it's weird.
Very weak flavors. The notes of citrus. I gave it 2 stars and doubtful to get it again. I'm gonna drink them on the ride home for sure.
Mass?
I had the Imperial Stout Trooper Stout from New England Brewing. Dark brown flavor. Wow. Dark brown color.
Tastes like brown.
Oh, I hate that.
Bread and coffee and earthy aromas, smoky, skunky taste. It's very heavy compared to a lot of.
Picture that. You're gonna like it. It's off smoky and skunky.
Very heavy, very bitter against the stouts that I normally like. It really does sit with you. I didn't drink it fast because I wasn't a huge fan of it, but as it got warmer, it really did get worse. It's just no, like
Just when you think he's gonna say like positive, he doubles down on the bad.
Time after time.
2 stars. Doubtful I'd get it again.
What?
I was too busy doing my
I
beer
did.
in my book.
I've been listening to this, waiting for Paul to catch something.
What just happened?
Basically,
Did you have a second beer that after the you gave that 2 stars?
Yeah.
he basically just crapped all over the IST.
Pretty bad. Like pretty heavily.
One of the like best regarded beers just crapped all over it.
I just wasn't feeling it tonight.
You,
You know, I
It
probably
tasted
wouldn't like it
brown.
either.
Kyle, but you're also a fuckface.
I
I'll be
think
back here.
I think the mass it was influenced by the cheddar ruffles he had.
This
He was dunking it.
This has to be good.
I wasn't a huge fan of it.
I had the Bourbon County brand stout from the Goose Island Brewery out of
Was it alright?
Chicago, Illinois. It was a 5-star rating, Kyle.
Can't have a 5-star. I couldn't even say that without laughing.
I have way more beers reviewed than anybody else on this show. I can have whatever the fuck I want. I have the most in-depth beer journal. So yeah, Bourbon County Stout from Goose Island, $13.99 a pint plus 14.7%. It is black and shimmery in color with caramel, earthy, and charred oak / vanilla notes, and it has a mild coffee with a smoky and earthy taste.
Caramel Bob.
It's a very phenomenal beer. It's light and heavy, as in like you can take longer like sips of it without getting that boozy content to it. But it's definitely not like a sit back and shotgun type of beer.
No,
mostly because it's glass. But you want to sip it at room temperature out of a snifter because that aroma, the curvature of the glass gets the aromas coming out, hitting you in the face, keeps oxygen flowing throughout the whole time. This specific one has a 2-year age on it since it's been bottled. I think that this year's batch would be best after 4. Still has a little bit of the bourbon-y booze to it. I don't mind that, but I'm going based off of what I think an average bourbon drinker would, or average beer drinker would want. I think after 4 years, if you can find and the thing is they're out there. I've seen them. I was in a store the other day that had a 2014 Bourbon County on.
Oh wow.
It doesn't anymore. But
Because you
did
bought
have
it?
then. Yeah, I did. I bought it. $30. But it was worth it.
Did you drink?
Which
it already?
one was it?
2014.
Oh, okay.
Did
Bourbon
you drink
County.
it already?
No.
Okay.
I gotta wait until April 30th. Tomorrow.
Why do you have to wait until the 30th?
Because the 2014 batch was unbarreled and bottled on April 30th, 2014.
All right.
Which means that tomorrow it has reached 5 years of maturity, which means it will not gain any more maturity after tomorrow.
Wow. Very convenient. I found it like right in time for fate.
Well, I knew it the minute I looked at it. I know all these things about these beers. 5 stars, absolutely would get it again. Gonna have it tomorrow. Different year. I'm gonna have it tomorrow, and I'm gonna write about it in the beer review.
Good.
All right.
Good. So shit. So next week, Maksheen will be here.
Yes.
He
Next
won't be
week
here the
I'll
week
be here.
after that.
The week after I will not be.
And then the week after that is our 100th show. So
Yeah.
if you guys have any like suggestions or things you want to hear, or you want to do like about us, what do you like? Whatever you guys want. You guys listen to the show. If there's specific things you want us to talk about, fun stuff, that we want it to be a fun show. We're not going to focus on the NFL and we'll touch on some stuff here and there, but we want it to be fun. Like when we did the dodgeball thing, make a dodgeball team, or who would you bring to a picnic?
Our 4th of July show.
Yeah, we want to have fun.
John Daly and Ric Flair.
So we're going to have a good time. And we'll be doing giveaways and whatnot. 100 shows seems like forever ago that we started. I mean, when you do it 1 week at a, it's weird. Like 100 shows isn't even 2 years. I feel like we've been doing this for decades.
Has it really been less than 2 years?
Well,
No.
It's less than 2 years since we started posting, but early on we used to post like 3 a week for like the first month or so.
We had a lot of stuff saved up.
Yeah.
I mean, we still have stuff that's unposted. We have a lot of shows that.
Some real rough copies of things
Just-
being cooked in the oven while recording a show.
Yeah.
Hey, you got
Someone
your
doing
dinner?
dishes.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Shout out J-Mark.
tune in next week, same time, same place. PPRN Radio Network on Monday from 8-ish to 11-ish. I'm not really sure what we're gonna. It's gonna be a surprise. Maybe I'll make the outline at some point this week, and Maksheen might be nice enough to post a couple things we're gonna talk about. Maybe get some input. We're gonna do Riddler's rankings. Do a Twitter poll.
Yeah, we'll do a Twitter
Did you
poll.
do a Twitter poll for this week?
I didn't.
So get a Twitter poll going for next week. Next week, I want to touch on NBA and MLB. I want everybody here to cover the segment, not Twitter poll.
Aw.
Not Masses Momentous Moments.
Hope you guys like guessing 3 unnamed players.
And send it to Riddler because you know why? This is helpful.
Yeah, it's been great.
Like that.
I did print it. Well, she printed it for me, but
That's fucking weird.
I like to keep tabs.
Tab? You mean notes?
Notes, tabs.
Tabs are like, I want to know where people are.
Where are you?
It's 11
Anyway,
o'clock. Do you know where your
Until
children are?
next Monday, I am your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler.
I'm Mark.
Sheen Washable.
Nah.
So
The Bass Chris Massey.
And I'm the Red Baron.
Yeah.